Blitz up the middle. This one intercepted. Picked off in the flat. It's Lynch.
You're better off just rolling it down the field, the 40-yard line, than kicking a line drive to number 15.
And here he goes. The quarterback is on the loose. Here's Post up the middle. Post, he's got a seam and he's gone. Purdy makes one-man miss, spins away from a second. 10, still wide at the 5. Play action, Black to throw. Caught by Soden. Finley to his left, throws across the body, looking for Peters. He's got him on the run. Meanwhile, handoff. He's got it. Look out. To the house, Emmanuel Post. They're going to air it out. Deep down the near sideline. Touchdown, Londonderry. Unbelievable. The holder is Sabani. It's clean. The kick is up. Good. And good. Well, hello everyone, and welcome here to Bedford. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you, getting set for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week between the Bedford Bulldogs and the Nashua South Purple Panthers. 2 of the 3 remaining undefeated teams in Division 1. Something has to give. Both teams are 7-0. Of course, Bedford, the 2-time defending Division I champions, perfect through 7 games. They extend their overall win streak to 23 last week with a shutout over Portsmouth. 35-0 was that final. Meanwhile, South, they've been putting up some staggering scores of their own, including a shutout on the road last week at Merrimack, 35-0, to remain unbeaten at 7-0. So again, 2 teams headed in the same direction here with 2 weeks to play in the regular season.
Nick, South is getting stronger, seems every single game. They've solidified. They play right from the get-go, right all the way back to BG opening game for them. They played solid 4 quarters of football. They're big, they're strong, but they're playing the Bedford Bulldogs, who have been, without a question, ranked 1 in the power poll every single week, ranked 1, and they've proved to date that they deserve that spot. We do have a major league lineup matchup. We just went through 2 weeks ago. You and I did it here, Nick. Check it out on our YouTube channel. Great game against Pinkerton. And that was basically right down to the last minute or so. That game was in queue. We talk all the time. Even Coach Matthews, I know, talked on an interview about how he is well aware that in the last 3 quarters, they didn't have their best players. So you've got 2 teams there in Pinkerton and Bedford that are right there close in parity. This is the game, to a great degree, that's going to decide whether South. This is their first big opponent that they're going to be taking on. We're going to see and get a great measure of where South is in the scheme of things. It's going to be a great game tonight. One last point: next week, you got Londonderry at Exeter. Those are 2 games where you're going to see 2 other Titans go at it. So I think in the last game of the week, when you and I walk away, Nick, doing our last weekend next week of the regular season, we're going to have the sort of matchup test that we've needed.
Yeah. Well, a lot of football to be played between tonight, tomorrow afternoon, and then, of course, next weekend as well. We'll be in the Queen City tomorrow for another meaningful Division I game between Winnicott and Memorial. That
2
game
rising teams,
at 1 o'clock. But this one, of course, most likely going to determine the Western Conference champion. And as we know, a 13-team field makes up the Division I tournament. The top 3 seeds are the top 3 conference champions, East, West, and Central. They are, I guess they get the weekend off to kick their feet up with that automatic bye. So a lot to play for, so to speak, on the line tonight.
It depends on where they are. It's a big advantage, I think.
All right, it's also senior night here at Bulldog Stadium as we get a look down on the field. Coach Matthews in real time honoring his seniors. Of course, this has been such a successful senior class. Part of that championship run a year ago as juniors, and again, unbeaten so far through 7 games. And they'll regroup here shortly and then take the field as a unit before the national anthem. So folks are starting to file in here. A lot of red in the crowd as expected, a lot of decorations, balloons, posters. The band is ready to go. This is one of our favorite places to take in a game, and the atmosphere living up to its reputation
Great
tonight.
spot to watch a game, Nick. I love to watch the trenches, and I love to watch pass patterns. And you just get a view of the field from here, Nick, that you feel kind of like you look like that camera in NFL games above. You're kind of looking down, and you can really see what's going on in the trenches, and you can really get a terrific look at the passing routes. Both of these teams have good quarterbacks. We're going to see a display there. We saw that against Pinkerton. We were here 2 weeks ago. I thought May did a masterful job at quarterback. He has some good receivers. He threw some stuff right in the breadbasket, some of them literally over the top of the head. One of them that Bennett Matthews caught was just outstanding. Another one later, I think it was Brody Helton that got one. It was just a terrific game to watch, and there's just nothing like watching a game at Bedford here. Field's in terrific, it's terrific night, cool night to play. Stamina overheating is not going to be an issue at this point. This is when guys really start being able to play a lot of high reps and not really lose much stamina. So I would expect the number one, their top starters to be on the field a lot tonight. As far as South, Nick, really quick, this is really, like we were talking earlier, really quick, their first real test of the iron of the league. And I'm excited to see how they come out in the first quarter and how Bedford can stop them defensively in both ways.
Veteran head coach Scott Knight, over 20 years on the job. He's got his club gathered up on the far side here as we get set for the on-field introductions. When we come back, the Bulldogs take the field. We get a live version of the national anthem by the Bedford High Marching Band, a live coin toss for you, and then a kickoff at the top of the hour as well. Don't go away. Undefeated South against undefeated Bedford in week number 8. Next, you are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Colonial Printing is family owned and celebrating 50 years of quality print services for New Hampshire businesses and can help yours as well. Whether it's creative design, digital or offset printing, or banners and signs, with state-of-the-art technology, unlimited industry sources, and the ability to think outside the box, Colonial Printing will help you get your job done. To see their full list of services, promo products, and portfolio, or to request an estimate, visit colonialprintingnh.com. That's colonialprintingnh.com.
Well, the Bedford Bulldogs just took the field. The two-time defending Division I champions, hoping to extend their win streak tonight to 24 unanswered. The problem is the other team is 7-0 as well. Nashua South looking for an upset here on the road. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you from Bulldog Stadium. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance. Let's go down to the field for a live rendition of the national anthem. Well, a great job by the Bedford High Marching Band with the live rendition of the national anthem here at Bulldogs Stadium in Bedford. 52 degrees, should stay in this temperature range tonight. No real wind to worry about. And as you said, Steve, a good night for October football in week number 8.
If you're standing up here, you worry a little bit, starts getting down to those numbers. But this is like, for a football player, this is like 68, 69 degrees to us up here. This is just perfect weather for them to be able to expend energy and obviously respirate quickly, recover. It's just perfect weather. And for me, Nick, when you look out of the colors and you just see the beginning of the trees beginning to lose the leaves here, Turkey Day's not too far in the distance. And this is the best month of football coming up. This next 30 days is just something else. I just love it.
Week number 9 marks the end of the regular season. Nashua South will finish up at home against Goffstown, while Bedford will make the travel west to Keene. Captain's meeting at midfield. Our officials tonight, referee Joe Serra is joined by Dan Moylan, Mark Cookson, Jeff Isabel, and Wally Ranitos, a veteran crew, as expected for one of the bigger games, if not the biggest game of the weekend here in Bedford. All right, Steve, quickly, some keys, bullet points both ways. What needs to happen for each of these two teams tonight to come away with a win?
I think that this year, I've seen a lot of Bedford defenses, and I think this defense at times early on has struggled with a run. I think that if South can put together a good running game, go down, get some time, they've got to be able to win. To me, South has to win by a pretty good margin the time of possession, number one. That's a big one. I'm not going to get into turnovers. That's just cliche every single week. Everybody knows that. I also think no errors on special teams for both teams, especially South, is key. The type of penalties that we've been seeing all year, both teams have got to stay composed and to be able to stay away from senseless penalties before and after the whistle, personal foul type things. That's going to be key. On the field for Bedford, they have to continue what we saw, but the connections between May and utilizing Brody Helton as a receiver as well. Those and of course Bennett Matthews. Those two connections from May have got to be able to continue doing what they're doing against this team. Again, Nick, this matchup just seems been so waiting for so long for it. To me, at some point, it's just going to be a physical battle between the two teams. Defense is going to be huge today. To me, you got to stop Brody Helton. I would key on him. That's why if they can do that, keep him under 100 yards like Pinkerton did, then they have a chance if their defensive backs. If their defensive backs on South are solid, Nick, they're going to have to play their best game of the year so far tonight.
Bedford, they won the toss. They elected to receive. Coach Zach Matthews wants the football first. He's got two of the state's fastest players right now standing at their own 5-yard line. That, of course, is the junior duo of Bennett Matthews, Coach Matthews' son, and, of course, last year's state rushing title champion holder Brady Helton. This one is a short kick. It's handled by one of the upmen. That's Bryson Durso trying to make a little maneuver to his right. He gets dropped at the 33-yard line.
Nice tackle.
South, they wanted to obviously avoid kicking the ball deep, and Bedford will settle with a 1st and 10 from their own 33-yard line. We get our first look at Jack May and the offense. May took over for 2-year incumbent starter Danny Black during the offseason, and the senior has looked very good through 7 weeks of regular season action. He's going to start here with 3 receivers on the field, 2 to the strong side left, Nashua South, with 4 defensive linemen up front. May out of the gun, going to hand to Helton on 1st down, going to swim his way to the second level, and lean forward up to the 39-yard line for a gain of 6.
Offensive line on the left side gave him a nice little place where he could maneuver. I don't know about you, Nick, but he's slide. To me, he's the best slider. Watch the slide here. Look at this movement, and then out again. He just really knows how to maneuver for blocks. He's got tremendous vision to anticipate where the block is going to go to give him the advantage on the angle. He's just terrific at it.
Taken down by the linebacker, Sam Levine, the junior. Got a 2nd down and 4. May ready to go with Helton to his right. Going to throw to his left. It's a receiver screen, and it's caught by Bedford's Peter Suazo. He's got the 1st down. He's going to cross midfield down to the south 48-yard line, as it's a 12-yard pickup through the air and a first down.
Yeah, what I like what Coach Matthews does and his whole offensive crew, Nick, if you look at it here, they're going to get that short inside bubble. They're going to cut it inside, get to the open space. And what this does is forces the linebacker core on the outside to honor those guys. It also makes the cornerbacks have to honor the short pass. And then once they start getting that and they start biting down and clamping down, what do? They hit it long and they beat them and they get separation deep.
1st and 10 from their opponent, 48-yard line. May going to swing it for Helton in the flat. He's got a couple of blocks downfield. Zigzags inside the 45 before he's bumped down at about the 43, maybe the 42. It's another gain of 6, maybe 7 on May's second completion.
Yeah, even when he slips or gets off balance, he still knows where to go. Look at this. He reads blocks. He knows they're all the inside is good. That's where he's got to go to the open space. Nobody does it better than he does as far as that's concerned. Matt Morrison, another one, great for guy from Pinkham. These guys, to me, are the two best backs in the league that I've seen so far. And, boy, they got some stiff competition. I don't know how you throw Tedesco out of that either. But this is exactly what Coach Matthews wanted, Nick.
Opening drive. 2 minutes gone by. Helton with a big hole and a first down. Going to bounce to the outside before he's ridden down out of bounds at the 19-yard line. Another big highlight-type run for the junior. That goes for 23 yards.
Well, now you're going to see how Brody Helton puts on. Watch the slow. He's slow, kind of jogging, and then, boom, he cuts outside, cranks on the speed. When I see by jogging, Nick, I don't mean jogging. I mean he's playing with the defender, and then he kicks in the gear, and he's just so hard to bring down.
Well, that's the thing. He's got that second gear, which combined with his size makes him one of the more complete running backs in the state. As we mentioned earlier, he led Division I as a sophomore last year.
Some of it
in the rushing category.
Yeah,
and a lot of those games, his day ended early because of blowout situations. Meanwhile, 1st and 10 from the 19. May into the end zone, and this one is deflected at the last moment. A great play in the end zone by senior defensive back Diego Cabrera, who knocked it away from Matthews at the last moment.
Yeah, look at Matthews right now. Boy, is this guy bulking up. He's just hitting a growth spurt, Nick. And I'll tell you, this guy, I guess he's going to play college lacrosse. He's not going to be an easy guy to play against as far as I'm concerned, but he is a terrific athlete and almost had it. How about that defensive play? Who made that play?
Well, there were a couple guys in the area. Colin Levesque, it looks like, arrived first.
Great play call. That's great defense.
They'll bring up 2nd down and 10. Helton to the left here of May.
Good close.
And he's got Matthews in motion. Going to hand to Helton. Right side run. Turns it up. 15-yard line. Lowers the shoulder at the 10.
Got a first
and ends
down.
up down at the 9-yard line.
Pretty
10
close.
more there for Helton, who has gotten off to the start that Coach Matthews was hoping for.
So frustrating for defense, Nick, to try to defend him. He just stayed deep behind the line, allowed the blocks. Let the blocks develop. See? Some of this, Nick, is learned. Experience is important, but this young man was given something from above that's really, really special. He has natural talent that just comes to him.
Well, he's looked good on this drive. How about 39 yards on just 3 carries?
Winning the line of scrimmage.
Nearly 3 minutes gone, and here comes Bedford knocking out the door on a 1st and goal from the 9.
Brody's picking it apart.
They're going to go right back to Helton. He's going to bounce left side and get wrapped up. No, he's going to keep fighting.
Yep.
Ends up inside the 5, down at the 4-yard line. There's that 220-pound frame coming in handy down near the goal line.
220, probably a body fat about 4%. He is absolutely he's just built to run the football. He doesn't fumble, Nick. He holds on tremendous ball security. This guy's got so many assets.
John McDevitt able to wrestle
him down. He's a coach's
dream. The junior with his first tackle defensively. South trying to stiffen up here. The football is inside the 3-yard line. Bedford hoping their opening drive can end in 6.
Bedford offensive line just doing a terrific job hitting their blocks.
They stay on the ground. Helton runs a man over in the hole. Second effort gets him into the end zone. It's a 3-yard touchdown run for Brody Helton. He was the centerpiece of that drive, and fittingly, he finishes it off with the touchdown.
That's all in the trenches, Nick. You could see that Brody's been able to get a good start, and when the blocking is at the line of scrimmage, I'll tell you, you are going to see a display. Go back if you want to know how an offensive team blocks, and a running back follows those. Just nothing there. How about a good job by the defensive lineman there? I don't know who that was. Might have been a linebacker. Terrific job. Brody's able to push it over.
Extra point try is up and good. 7-0 Bulldogs as the senior Zach Petrie splits the uprights to finish off the drive. So 3 minutes, 36 seconds taken off the first quarter clock on the opening drive. And Bedford setting the tone here early. 7-0 as the home fans celebrate.
While we got a break, speaking of the home fans, they're enjoying a terrific anthem done by the Bedford Bulldog Band, Nick. We were able to hear. Just did a wonderful job. And like Timberlane, like other teams in the league, just do a terrific job of just doing pep songs in the middle. They're just really tight and they sound great. Enjoying them.
Yep. They're right below us.
Yep.
As well here at Bulldog Stadium. We're on the roof of the press box, and they're seated in the stands directly below. The Bedford standing student section, dressed in red tonight, off to our left behind the cheerleaders. And as we mentioned, 13 seniors honored before the game on senior night. They've got their numbers sketched in white on the green turf over here
That's
as
something
well.
else, huh?
So
might as well do it right?
A job well done by athletic director Corey Parker and his staff. Meanwhile, Bedford with a 7-0 lead. Now it's on Nashua South to respond.
I'll tell you, Bedford's offensive line, Nick, just firing off the ball. That defensive line, the South's good defensive line too. So South, I have no doubt, are seeing right now the best team that they've faced, probably by a pretty wide margin, Nick, of any of their teams they've faced this year. How do they handle that? How do they read it? How do they react? What are the game changes that have to be made on strategy as far as making adjustments? We're going to see. But right now, they've got to have a controlled drive.
Petrie is ready to swing the leg, and it's a squib. It's going to roll its way inside the 20 before it's scooped up on the move by Colin Kachenik, and he is walloped. Tackled in the open field by Noah Casamassino. We say his name a lot, Steve.
Oh, he's a tough kid.
He's one of the tri-captains for Bedford, and he makes a good special teams play here.
Yeah, he just does a little bit of everything for a team, Nick. It really, and he's don't get fooled by his size. I don't know if he's a wrestler or not, but he's one of those guys that I would think would be, because he comes in and he knows where the center of gravity is, and he knows how, tackling especially. He's an extremely valuable part of this Bulldog football team in more than just offense.
Junior Jackson Cody is ready to go at the quarterback spot. He's going to hand off on 1st and 10 to senior Kyle Emmons. Can't quite get around the corner, although he does lower the shoulder and end up just shy of the 30. South, we saw this earlier in this season, Steve. We've seen them twice in person. They like to run the no-huddle offense, and they get the offense ready to go here very quickly on 2nd down and 5. They run Jackson near side, and the quarterback is going to take off. He's at midfield before he's chopped down by Matthews at the Bedford 44-yard line.
Touchdown saving.
That is a 26-yard gallop for the junior Cody Jackson.
I thought he was going to be caught, Nick. If you look right about here, you think he's going to be caught, but look at that speed that young man has. And let me tell you, it took a guy of Bennett Matthews' speed to catch up and save a touchdown.
Jackson's got the troops ready to go again. Going to fake the handoff. Cody is met at the line of scrimmage and dropped. That's one of the Bedford captains who says hello. Senior Jacob Sheff with a big bear hug. It's a loss of 1 second and 11.
Another very valuable defensive player, especially for Bedford, Nick. One thing he's got to do is he's got to go north-south on that play. Can't run down the sidelines against Bedford. Oh,
and
boy.
Now this one incomplete.
Tough
Emmons,
drop.
Usually very sure-handed, but the senior couldn't rescue that one from the turf. It's 3rd and 11.
It kind of looked like he started moving his feet, Nick, and took his eye off the ball. He did have a defender there ready, but he might have been able to lean forward and get like a 5-6 yard gain if he was able to catch that. So,
meanwhile, Coach Matthews is upset about something. He's upset about the spot. They're going to move the football back a yard to the 45-yard line. So the eagle-eyed head coach making a difference there. His defense is going to blitz here on 3rd and 11. Jackson backpedaling, throws over the middle. It's low and incomplete. Again trying to find an open receiver, Diego Cabrera. Incomplete, and now 4th down and 11.
Yeah, not what South wanted, Nick. You cut your facial long, time-consuming drive. You want to give that back in kind. And if he hit that pass, he probably had a 50-50 chance of getting past that 1st down stick. But he did have number 1 from Bedford, is it Petronian? Dean?
Poltroneri.
Yeah, Poltroneri.
All right, here's the
I
punt.
got my glasses on.
Kicked away by Morgan. Matthews going to sidestep his way across the 25 and is knocked out of bounds at about the 33-yard line. So a good return there by the junior. Bedford's second drive looking to be as productive as the first. They marched down the field nearly 70 yards, 67 on that opening drive that resulted in a 3-yard touchdown.
The pursuit just isn't there, Nick. Just not everybody doesn't believe I should be in my lane again. South looks a little bit bewildered right now. They'll get it back, but it's just right now Bedford's playing the game faster and just getting off the ball looks a little bit quicker. Seem a little sharper right now.
Just over 5 minutes gone by here, first quarter. Each team has possessed the ball once. Bedford from their own 30. Helton unstoppable on the ground in that first series. Finds a big hole here to the right side and is scissored down at about the 37, maybe the 38-yard line. Levesque with his second tackle for South. Also Nathan Case in the area there for the defenders. It's still a 6, maybe a 7. Well, they're calling it a 7-yard pickup for Helton.
Right now, Helton just looks, Nick, like he's just all cylinders are running. Just had a tune-up, and everything's just running perfect, if you know what I mean. That 220-pound frame, Nick, that's a college frame right there that young man has. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, I'm so impressed with his first cut that he makes, sets himself up.
A little bit of press coverage here, it looks like, from South. Now they're going to drop off. Bedford responds by throwing to Matthews, who throws down the field, and it is caught.
Overplayed it.
Landon Elsmore made the adjustment, ended up with the 2-yard grab. Forward progress going to mark him down at the 24-yard line for Bedford, a gain of 49.
Josh Tripp, one of their top defensive backs, Nick, made just a mistake there. You've got to make sure you get the ball. You've got to make sure he did a great recovery. Don't get me wrong, but he went to the inside. He wants to be in the back of him so he can bat the ball down. What he turned on the inside, and that just gave Bedford the leverage to receive that ball.
Eventually,
easier said than done
by Josh Tripp. Yeah, you're right. But execution perfect there on that trick play for Bedford. 1st and 10 from the South 24. It's back to the ground on a toss and headed towards the sideline is Helton before he's tackled below the knee inbounds, apparently, just inside the 20-yard line.
Josh Tripp again, obviously he's shown on that play great recovery even on that pass, Nick, to be able to recover. That takes a lot of coordination to get him down. But on that play right there, there's a couple of the guys there in the linebacker and the defensive end. You want to attack behind the line of scrimmage and slow Brody down before he gets that full speed run. And they're kind of sitting on the line waiting and catching. That's not going to work with the Bedford Bulldogs. You have to be aggressive defense, flow to the ball.
2nd down and 5. Football at the 19-yard line. Bedford in the red zone again. Inside of 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Matthews in motion. They hand to him. The junior is going to sweep around the corner at the 15, make a man miss at the 10 before he's hurdled down at about the 6-yard line. Eventually tracked down by Raymond Karuru, the junior, with his first tackle. Matthews showed off the arm a moment ago with that 49-yard completion. And here is able to pick up about 12 more on the ground and set up a 1st and goal.
You're seeing why they're rated number 1, Nick, and why their competition this year, why they're undefeated. And these drives, the offensive line is just spot on their blocks. They're coming out low and hard. They're getting great jump off the cadence. And
South hoping to stiffen
doing
up
a great
here.
job.
Bedford looking to make it a 2-score game early as we come up on the 4-minute mark. Helton, right side, slices it upfield and ends into the end zone again. Ends up with his second touchdown. This one from 6 yards out. And Bedford rolling on all cylinders here early on. It's 13-zip.
Yeah, they look terrific, Nick, right now, just controlling the line of scrimmage from all the way from left to right. Nobody's breaking down. And, think about that for a second. You got May at quarterback. You got Brody Helton carrying the ball, but before that you got jet motion left.
Extra point up and good from Petrie's 2 for 2.
You got jet motion left by Bennett Matthews, Nick. That it just forces everybody to freeze. You got 3 top level Division I athletes, Nick, going in different directions, and you got an offensive line that's winning the line of scrimmage. If that isn't a recipe to let the big dog eat, I don't know what it is. It's really difficult to cover. You can't overflow to the ball.
6 plays, 70 yards in just under 3 minutes. As Bedford with 2 early touchdowns from the junior Brody Helton. As we get another look at the touchdown run there by the junior.
Yep. But it's all set up by putting Bennett in jet motion left. May handing the ball off and going back as if he's got the pass. They're freezing everybody. And if you know your offensive line can control the line of scrimmage, it's just a recipe for disaster for the defense. So difficult to flow personnel the ball because everybody's got to stay home.
South. This was the start they were hoping to avoid here on the road, trailing 14-0, about to get the football back for just the second time.
I think that was touched.
Live football, and scooting his way out of bounds goes Kachenik. And they mark him at the 25-yard line. So South, they did get a big play on the ground from junior quarterback Cody Jackson. He ran for 26. They seemingly were going to add some points, but their first possession tonight kind of sputtered out as they approached the red zone.
It's fun. I was just going to talk about that, Nick. When you look at that offensive situation, it wasn't like they didn't have receivers that were in position to catch the ball. But they had 2 drops.
Right.
One of them was the second one was because of the quarterback threw it too low. But the opportunity was there. Let's see if they can do it here.
They're going to spread it out 4 receivers. They look for Emmons in the flat. He makes the first man miss. He runs through 2 more.
What an effort.
And ends up gaining about 2. That seemingly looked like a broken play early on. Emmons makes it happen, and now he's going to limp his way to the far sideline after suffering what looked like a stinger there on the tackle. It goes for 3 yards. Emmons his second catch, and Jackson's got the offense ready to go yet again. It's Sam Levine, a right side run for the junior. He's over the 30 and gang tackled at about the 32. So here we go, 3rd and 5 coming up.
This is crunch time, Nick. I don't know what they have in the bag, but this game can get out of control really, really quick here. They need a first down.
Jackson's under center. And now the wings are going to head to the slots.
Yeah. Why not? Yep. Problem is right now it's giving the defensive time to adjust while he's getting a second play.
Bedford's going to stick with a 4-man front as Jackson drops back to the shotgun. 3rd and 4 officially. Second carry for Levine, right side, won't get there.
He gave it his all.
Stopped at the edge by Brody Helton, who comes up to make the tackle. That'll set up what looks like a 4th and 2.
Offensive line is not getting off the ball, Nick. As you look right there, they're just standing up. They're not getting low. They're not moving the midsections.
4th down. Coach Knight wants to go for it. Goes right back to Levine, and he does have the first down.
Nick, there's times when you're just getting it, you've got to let it hang out right there. I give Coach Knight a lot of credit. His team was just, you've got to get something going here. And he took a high risk, but, the alternative is you give it back to Bedford, and right now you need some positive energy.
Jackson keeping the breakneck pace going. Handoff to Tripp. Makes the first man miss, and lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage there.
Bedford is busting through the line, Nick, getting guys in the offensive backfield.
How about Matthew Ben? Matthew Ben up there, Steve.
Yep.
You got to like that name.
I love it.
Matt Ben, 5'10", 260, the junior up front. Trying to make a play here on Jackson, who on a second down carry is going to give a pretty good effort there up to the 44-yard line.
That. Yep. Well, that's a terrific effort by him. Look, the running backs and receivers, Nick, I don't know if you saw on that 4th down, that offensive line exploded off the ball. They got to do it every play. You can't just sit back. You're in a war right now, and you've got to take back some of that real estate you lost.
South hoping to convert another 3rd down, 3rd and 5. Levine, right side, wrapped up and hitting the backfield.
Was it 57?
That's Jacob Sheff again.
Yeah.
The senior DN with his second tackle. So now 4th and 6.
Yep.
And Coach Knight apparently wants to go for it. He's going to keep the offense out there. It's a 5-receiver set, an empty backfield. Jackson takes the snap, looks left, and now they're going to blow it dead as the flag flies.
So
it's our first penalty either way, and it comes with 1:14 to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, they're getting into trouble, Nick, with 1st and 2nd down. They're not getting the offensive line is not coming off the ball. All of a sudden they get into a jam and they fire off the ball like like Warriors. In this situation, they've got offensive line. They got to get a timeout.
It's illegal procedure against South.
Yeah, got to talk to those guys. They're good offensive line. They're great players. They're just a little confused by the defensive fronts that Bedford is sending them. But a lot of it is you've just got to get off the ball quickly. You got to beat them to the line of scrimmage.
The junior Preston Boys for his second punt.
Oh,
this
boy.
one is short. May have gone off the side of his foot as it angles towards the sideline. They're going to mark it out of bounds just past midfield. So a gift for the Bulldogs as they're set to begin drive number 3 at their own 49-yard line.
Well, we had a great discussion with Roger Brown the other night about where does South fit in this mix, given their rating as far as that's concerned. And I thought it was a really good discussion we had back and forth. And it's so hard to rate a team until you see the actual matchup. And this game is far from over. But if there's ever a time that South needs to put their first-rate defense in play, they've got to give the opportunity the offense to get back on the field without another score.
Inside of a minute to go, first quarter, Bedford from their own 49 on a 1st and 10. It's Helton trying to swim through that line.
Good start right there.
Yeah, South with 2 defenders in the area, including the big senior Kevin Undabizi, who has been an anchor really defensively up front. Really a two-way player. Two-way trench player who has been excellent for Coach Knight.
No doubt in my mind, Nick. South is going through right now what a team they're seeing a sharper tool than they've seen before. And what they got to do is they've got to ramp up their game. And when they do, that's really going to be beneficial for South. But if in this particular game, this defense has really got to stand tall.
A little bit of a different look here. Bedford going to 4 receivers. They're going to let May throw. He's got a man left side. It's Suazo. First down and then some.
It's a great pass.
Pretty good swim move after the catch as well. He gets down to the South 35-yard line. A gain there of 17.
Agree with you, Nick. That is a good swim move. But what's really good is the initial pass route that he ran. He forced that. He had that cornerback convinced he was going deep, Nick. I wish we could see it from the top there on a replay.
Well, we're just about out of time, unfortunately, Steve.
Yeah.
But at the end of the first quarter, South, again with their backs to the wall. Bedford on the march, the football at the 35-yard line. The champs got off to the start they wanted in that first quarter. It's 14-0 Bedford, right back to Bulldog Stadium in a moment. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Well, the first play of the second quarter is either an incompletion or an interception.
They're going to have a talk. We're going to see. We'll get a great view here, I think.
It was a throw, really with nobody home.
To be honest,
seemed like some miscommunication there for Bedford.
And it looked to me like it hit ground.
We apologize for breaking in a split second late there, but they are ruling it, Steve, an interception. So Nashua South comes away with the game's first takeaway as they pick off Jack May.
No, he
as
got
we
it.
see there on the replay. Yeah, it looked like he had it. That's Josh Tripp.
Oh, you're going to see it here.
Josh Tripp, the junior, had 3 tackles defensively for South in that first quarter. And here able to flash the hands, maintain the concentration.
Can we slow that down one more time?
And the officials, after a discussion, did rule, in fact, that the Tripp had possession.
Here we go. Oh, he got it. He had it cradled. It's close.
Yeah.
It's close. But you can't argue with the officials on the call. They got to call it live. You can't argue. It was there, I think.
Meanwhile, South going to dig into the bag of tricks here as they look for Tripp downfield, and he's wide open. Tripp inside the Bedford 40, finally leveled by Suazo at about the 34-yard line. So some quick math here, Steve. That one goes, I believe, for 43 yards.
But number 11 is Josh Tripp.
Yeah, unfortunately, the youngster is down.
Yep. He got cut. If you look at him, he got hit, and it looks to me like that ankle got kind of twisted a little bit. So
it was Landon Ellsmore, not Squazzo, came in over the top there, the second defender to arrive, and you can see Tripp is still down.
Just good, hard physical football. Wasn't helmet-led. It was, shoulder-led.
That's the longest play from scrimmage for South. The pass, I believe, was thrown there by Sam Levine.
Yeah.
And hauled in by Tripp.
And if Sam could have set his feet, he couldn't because he had to face the defender coming at him. But if Sam could have anchored his feet, that ball would have gone. He would have led him, who knows. But right now, all eyes for South and obviously for all of us are on Josh Tripp right now. He is a special player.
It was Emmons, by the way.
He's okay. Was that Emmons?
Emmons who threw the pass, yes.
Oh, yeah, Emmons, yeah.
I apologize. I said it was Levine. It was
Let's
Emmons.
take a look here what happens.
Number 8, not number 9. And you could see there.
So he gets cut. Oh, yeah, he got that ankle got twisted underneath as he pulled him down. That's
a tough one.
That's never easy.
Coach Knight is going to make his way onto the field and check in on one of his star juniors. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Beals Insurance. Locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. Also by MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit MGSportsFundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. By the New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NHTomahawks.com and also girls.NHTomahawks.com. And finally by Colonial Printing, family owned and operated for over 50 years. Start your next project today at colonialprintingnh.com. Well, you heard the applause a moment ago as Josh Tripp got to his feet, and with the assistance of the Nashua South athletic trainers.
He's kind of putting half weight on it, if that.
He's still in some pain, apparently. Play ready to resume. It's a screen. It's complete. It's nice Emmons, and he's inside the 30.
Nick, this
tackled from behind by Helton, about 2 yards shy of that first down marker.
They needed that interception so badly, Nick. That just allowed them to get an extra offensive thing, good defensive play, and the playbook's opening up a little bit.
Goes for 8. Jackson hoping to keep everybody ready to go. Hands to Levine. No, he fakes it. He's going to run to his right. He's going to throw to Emmons, and that ball is labeled incomplete.
Yeah, got to have that, Nick. There's 3. I have 3 drop passes at least right now so far. And if there's been any tail of the tape here, it isn't about, turnovers are in South's favor right now. But if there's one thing that South is really struggling with is catching the ball. And, that's a key catch. Cornerback was playing way off. He could have gained he probably would have gotten a first down.
3rd down and 5. South hoping to keep the drive alive. They stay with Jackson on a run action. He's wrestled down by Sheff at about the 27. It's going to be about 1.5 yards short, so a 4th down coming up.
Mr. Sheff, you called it, Nick. Mr. Sheff was having himself quite a game on the defensive side, especially in the football. Doing a terrific job. 4th down and 3. Here we go.
Yeah, Jackson ready to go. 2 receivers each side. Going to put 1 in motion. It's Emmons to the near side. And now Jackson apparently is going to change the play. Has a quick word with the offensive line. Drops back of the shotgun. Bedford going to rush 5. Handoff Levine, left side. He's got the first down. Return his way upfield. Still alive inside the 10 and into the end zone for a touchdown. A gorgeous play by the junior Sam Levine. A 27-yard run around the corner, and South is on the board.
Those are those barrel drills, Nick, where you got to run through around the barrel. Boy, watch the coordination this young man has here. Look at the nice quick cut inside. He beats outside, arm tackle, and how in the world did he bust through and stay in bounds? That's just determination. That's why this team is 7-0.
1-score game again at 14-6. South going to go for 2. A couple of reverse handoffs, and the football ends up on the turf. And that 2-point conversion fails, so it stays 14-6. But South instilling some confidence perhaps with that response. They picked up several third down conversions in the process, and it ends with a 27-yard touchdown scamper by the junior Sam Levine.
You really want to get at least one, Nick, on the board there. But, I understand going for two, but a double reverse against a defensive line that has been just dominating pretty much the whole game except the recent, last 4 or 5 plays. And I give the credit to South's offensive play calling. They did a terrific job. But that one, boy, that's until you can completely control the line of scrimmage, Nick, a double reverse is a low percentage.
Well, we've got ourselves a football game.
Yes,
Bedford
we do.
Appeared like they were going to roll. But these scored 2 touchdowns on their first 2 possessions, both capped off by the junior running back Brody Helton, 3-yard touchdown on the opening drive, a 6-yard score on possession number 2. South on their second possession. They get the response they wanted just a moment ago with that 27-yard run by Sam Levine. Meanwhile, this is Bryson Durso, the sophomore. Pretty good return over the 40 at the 41. Yep. Stopped there by Nashua South's Chase Schwisher, the junior.
They've made a decision, Nick. They're not going to kick it deep. They're not going to allow Brody or Bennett to be able to run the ball back. And who would blame them? Get some of the top athletes in the whole state.
Right.
So running the football, and they're lethal when they get ahead of steam. So I think that's a good move by Coach Knight to do that, and his team has done a good job for him so far on every kick.
Well, Bedford's third possession ended in a turnover. On 1st and 10, May has to take a low snap off the turf. A late start there for Helton, who's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage.
Cole Patno on the tackle, Nick, right there on the outside. The difference is Cole decided, I'm going to come get you, and that's what I've been talking about defensively. Look at Cole. He's already coming up. He's not waiting to catch. So whoever the defensive coordinator is and the defensive coach has done a good job telling these guys, go after it. Don't wait for him. It's guaranteed failure. Go up and make a tackle. Nice job.
Cole Patno, the junior. 3-man defensive front here for South on 2nd down and 10. May is going to throw. This one bobbled and picked off. Intercepted by South linebacker Bruno Goncalves, who's going to return it back inside the 30-yard line.
That's what happens when you get
South
inspired.
The South defense, they are celebrating.
They are inspired.
The old August tip drill. It went up in the air off the fingertips of Bennett Matthews, and then Goncalves is Johnny on the spot for takeaway number 2.
Fortune is made, Nick. It's not just luck. It's fortune. What happened is this defense has come out gradually gaining strength throughout this game. That interception was an electric shock that just came into these guys after taking advantage, getting a touchdown. Now they're in the driver's seat again to potentially, with a 2-point conversion, tie the game. But a long way to go to pay dirt. Defensive Bedford is solid.
From the Bulldog 32, Jackson to his right. He's got Emmons, going to protect the football with 2 hands right in front of Bulldog head coach Zach Matthews. Steps out of bounds at about the 29-yard line for a short 3-yard gain through the air.
Remember we talked about game speed, Nick. You either put your knife away or your tools away, or you sharpen them. What they've done throughout this game, they're facing competition they've never faced this year, and they're rising to the occasion and making their own breaks and capitalizing.
They're also staying in the no huddle. They fake to fish. They throw over the middle, and Emmons is going to make the catch at the 15-yard line.
Excellent play.
And drive his shoulder into the chest of the defender, Bennett Matthews, as well. They rule him down at the 14-yard line. So here comes South with a 1st and 10.
Yeah, Cody Jackson's really impressing me, Nick. He sold that handoff so well. Offensive runner on the fake, just carried that fake with precision. And the defensive backs just kind of stood still, worrying, do I got to cover run? Great job.
And for Levine, going to leave his feet as he enters the hole and land down at the 10-yard line after a gain of 5.
Just like that, Nick. Just like that.
Just like that. South is back in the game. They trailed 14-0. Bedford had the football.
Well, they're elevating their game.
To begin the second quarter, and the defense with 2 interceptions. And now the offense hoping to produce back-to-back touchdowns. They throw over the middle, and that one is broken up at the goal line. Matthews in on the coverage, intended for the sophomore Justin Fish.
I think Bennett would like to have that back again. He almost had that right there. Look at that. Great. Yeah, he almost had it. They're going to see. Oh, that's great. Great work, Matt. Great work. Matt and Kat, Kristen, you guys are absolutely killing it tonight.
We're live here from Bulldog Stadium, week number 8. 2 undefeated teams meeting head-to-head here.
That's crunch time right here. 4-down territory for sure.
3rd down and 6 officially. Emmons in motion. Jackson going to throw to him in the flat.
Oh, what a block.
He's got a big block, and he ends up down at the 7-yard line. Chopped down there by Matthews. And Poltroneri was there as well. Where are they going to spot him? At the 6. So we got a 4th and 4 officially from
Is it that long?
4th and 4. Sorry, 4th and 4 from the 7.
Oh, 7. That's why. Okay.
Yep. Bedford showing blitz, and Jackson may have just changed the play.
Yeah, this is going to be a big down. Big down in the game.
Levine is the back to his left. 2 receivers each side. Looking, throwing. It is tipped and incomplete, and the Bulldogs are going to take over. Excellent coverage there as somebody got a hand on the football. Was it Helton?
Yeah, coming across the backside there. He able to get a hand. I think you're going to see it was Brody. Well, we're going to find out. Make me a liar, right?
It may have been Javon
Brody
Georges.
right there. No, that's Brody.
Yeah, you're right. Helton able to tip the ball up in the air. It lands on the turf in the end zone, incomplete. So the Bulldogs are going to trot the offense onto the field to take over at their own 7-yard line.
This 220-pound star running back, Nick, this guy has got all the goods. He can make big plays on defense as well. I'll tell you.
Well, he's had a day already.
He sure has.
On the ground. 10 carries, 68 yards, and they're going to give him one more here on a left side run. Makes a brilliant cut and ends up over the 15 at the 16-yard line. He brings the defender with him, Cole Patno. And, they're going to mark it right at the 16-yard line. A gain of 8 there for Helton.
See the glance step by Brody? Watch that. If you saw that play in the beginning, nice job on replay right there. You guys are getting great shots down in the field. Terrific job.
Nick Anastas, Steve Beals, and the rest of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire crew here at Bulldog Stadium. Bedford, they've won 23 in a row, including the first 7 on the schedule this year. As the 2-time defending Division I champs hope to stay unbeaten on senior night. They led tonight 14-0. Helton on an outside run collides with 2 defenders at the 20. It ends up at about the 21-yard line.
Well, opportunity lost there for South, Nick, not being able to convert. However, they changed the field position on that interception drastically. Defense has got to stand up here, but it is a 14-6 game within 1 score. Look at Brody.
Stepping up to meet him man-to-man was the senior Gus Smiley.
This is called manning up right there.
Yeah.
Bang.
Gus Smiley, got to do what you got to do.
Yep. Number 15 did everything he could.
1st and 10. From the 22-yard line. Just over 5 minutes gone by second quarter. Bedford nursing a 14-6 lead. They stay on the ground. This is Casa Messino.
He's got the
going to bounce to the outside and is wrestled down out of bounds just shy of the 35. The Bulldog fans wanted a late hit there.
No,
Sam Levine with the tackle out of the secondary for the Purple Panthers.
Well, they'd be wrong on that one. Contact was made in the field and the tackle ensued outside. But it was a continuation of the initial tackle.
It was also
right there. He's inbounds. That's not. If they start calling that,
that's a good no call.
Yeah, good no call.
First carry for Noah Casamasino. We sung his praises earlier on a special teams tackle. Yeah. That's his first carry tonight, and it goes for 12 yards and a Bedford first down.
We're already making the quarterback position ridiculous. Let's not make it with the running backs as well. You're gonna lower your shoulder up the field and you deal with a hit.
Heading towards the midway point, second quarter. May calls his own number and is tracked down very quickly. Raymond Karuru. He's checked in a couple of times tonight for South. He limits the senior quarterback to just a yard on the ground there.
I agree, Nick. That was he's checking in at key times. This is what they need to stop Bedford on the first down, keep him under 2 yards. That's exactly what he did there. That was a great individual. Look at that wrap. Yep. Knows how to pull him down with maintaining body position on him. Great job. Great tackle.
First carry tonight for the quarterback. And now May with Helton behind him in the pistol. Getting ready for a 2nd down and 9 as we hit the midway point. The 6-minute mark here, second quarter. Helton left side trying to follow Matthews. Good stiff arm there. Swims past another. Trying to find a little bit of room at the end of the run before he's brought down by Karuru.
Yeah.
But another productive 9-yard gallop there for Helton.
But let's give South credit, Nick. They're going after him now rather than waiting to catch him. And what it does, it slows him down. You just got what I call Brody Helton right there. That's what happens. He's that good. But everything that South did, Nick, was just what they need to continue to do. And you're going to see it here. Now watch the defensive aggression. They're all coming up now. They're hitting them behind the line of scrimmage. Brody Helton's just so special he still gets a gain. However, got to continue that.
And DeBeasy held down the edge.
Yep.
On that one as well. Meanwhile, 1st and 10, May throws. Hit.
What a hit.
On the release, and the pass ends up behind Bennett Matthews and incomplete.
This Levine is quite a player.
Yeah, he was the go-to guy on 4th down when they had the football. And he's really checking in now defensively as well out of that secondary.
I think the whole defense of South, Nick, is checking in.
Yeah.
The gap that we saw before is narrowed quite a bit, but it's still going to be a battle here with Bedford. But they are within one score with a touchdown. And this defense is playing the kind of game speed that they need to play.
Well, Bedford's previous 2 possessions ended in turnovers, 2 interceptions. After their first 2 trips tonight ended in the end zone. Just over 5 minutes to go, second quarter. Helton, big hole left side, is going to squirm his way to midfield.
See team
wrestled
tackling.
down by Colvin Levesque in the end. Another 6-yard gain there. We got a 3rd and 4 coming up, Steve.
South's claiming that Brody dropped it. There is a communication now.
Oh, wow.
So if we get that on replay, I'd like to see what happened there. But they were right. These guys are great. Look at this communication going now. You're going to see it right here.
Well, the question, I think he was down.
I
did see a pretty good play by.
I think it was out.
You think so?
I do.
Yeah, Levesque. They're going to say he's got it. Levesque, the defender, wrestled it away there from Helton on his way to the ground.
That ball was out before. That ball was out of his hands and stolen.
The officials on the field have made a decision.
Yeah.
South, with their 3rd takeaway of this first half, they're going to welcome the offense back onto the field with the football exactly at the 50-yard line.
Let's see it again here. If you can slow it down just a little bit, you're going to see before that right knee touches the ground, that ball is out. Now he's twisting. Then he comes in afterwards right here. He's already got the ball he's already got possession of the ball before Brody's down. That's just terrific communication.
1st and 10 for South. Jackson on a rollout, throws, and this one is nearly picked off as Javon Georges was certainly in the right place there for Bedford, but the youngster couldn't quite reel it in.
Yeah.
South catches a break at 2nd and 10.
But give him credit for being in the right spot. That ball should have been thrown by Cody. Yep.
So that back foot throw intended for Justin Fish. But George is able to spoil the plans. South, they live to see another down, however. 2nd down and 10.
Bedford, 3 turnovers over this game in the middle of 3rd quarter.
Yeah. No, all here in the 2nd quarter.
Just great blocking.
It's a screen, and it's Emmons who's been busy in this first half.
Get the first down.
He's going to make this very close. I think he may be a yard shy.
Yeah, if you watch, if he stayed consistent, he would have. It's still a good play. Nothing against this young man. That's a great catch, hard to do. But don't go east-west. Go north-south. Get that first down, especially. But they got 2 downs to get it.
Emmons with 5 catches in this first half. They go to Fish, the sophomore, for the first time, and he's got it.
Yep.
A left side run will produce 3 yards and keep the chains moving for South.
Yeah, make no mistake about it. South is really sharpening up on both sides of the football here. They're playing like 2 7-0 teams.
They give Georges credit for the stop. South, they've been in the no huddle all night. They're ready to go again. Short pass for Emmons. Makes Poltrinari miss before Georges gets to him at the 35-yard line. Gain of 3.
Yeah, block missed out there, Nick, out in the beyond the hashes. Got to hit that block. Got to stay with it.
Coming up on 4 minutes. South, they would love to grab the lead here. Or I guess they can. They can at least tie with a touchdown and a 2-point try. But after trailing by as many as 14,
they don't need to hurry.
They would like that. Screen near side. Levesque with the catch. There's a flag on the play. He's tackled inbounds at the 26, but there's 2 different flags.
Yep.
So let's see. It has been a pretty clean first half. Just 1 accepted penalty.
Yeah, that's it.
So far, that was a legal procedure call against Nashua South back in the first quarter.
Got to believe this is holding. The only defensive thing, Nick, if the flag's where it is, could be a face mask, but I didn't see it. To me, it's got to be holding.
Our referee tonight, Joe Serra.
There you go.
It's a block in the back against Nashua South. So
same idea.
looks like it occurred at the 32-yard line. So they should be backing the football up to the 42, which is what they're going to do. Which means we've got a 2nd down and 14 coming up here after the 10-yard penalty. Just inside of 4 minutes remaining here in this first half. Coming up at halftime, live on-field coverage of the Bedford Marching Band's halftime performance, plus stats, highlights, and analysis, all coming your way. And a Week 8 scoreboard to get to as well. Meanwhile, Jackson,
nice run,
gets tripped up at the tail end, met by Matthews along the sideline. They're going to mark him out at about the 34-yard line.
He's a good runner, Nick. Watch this fake inside. He has a great, see the fake cut, and then he goes outside. Just kind of draws him down. A little trip at the end there.
8-yard carry. 3rd and 6. 3.5 to go. Jackson going to put Fish in motion. Take the snap and throw to Fish. The sophomore with the catch. Then he throws downfield and it's picked off.
Wow.
Intercepted at the 30-yard line. The trick play is spoiled.
That is
by the Bulldog defense. That's Georges with the interception. It's the first takeaway.
You know
by
how
the home
hard
team
that is,
tonight.
Nick, to stay with your man and not take the into your own. He stayed with his receiver. Watch this. Now, all the reasons to come up are there, and what did he do? He stayed right with his receiver. That's just defensive discipline right there, and that's why he was in a position. Look at him. He's right there with him, never left his man, never came up. The urge, if you're aggressive, is to come right up, and you shouldn't. He did exactly. That's just discipline right there.
That was actually
job.
Dustin Westcott, the senior, who had the interception, not Georges.
Yeah.
But both of them have been impactful in this first half. So we saw 3 takeaways by the South defense. Bedford, they've got their own here, which sets up the O at the 31-yard line. 3:30 to go. And now May ready to go as he hands off on first down to Matthews. Gets a good lead block there and shuffles his way across the 35 up to the 37.
Yeah, a little late on the fill. Number 15, Smiley Goss has got to fill that, Nick. There was only one little set of green space. They had contain. They had inside control. There was a little, 3-foot area green space. He's got to go up and fill that. Don't wait for the Bedford Bulldogs to come to you. It's going to be over if you do. You have to go up and make and take them at the line of scrimmage or beyond.
2nd down and 3. May seemingly in no hurry as the senior quarterback has 2 running backs with him. Here's a blitz up the middle on 2nd and 3.
Nice job.
Helton off the screen. Is tackled in the open field below the knee wrap up there by Cole Patno, the junior.
What a nice
showing
tackle.
you how it's done there on the form tackle. But Bedford will move the sticks anyway with a first down.
Yep. Plenty of time left for Bedford. They can very carefully. They got what? All 3 timeouts left?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Neither team, in fact, has called a timeout yet.
Bedford can really take their time moving the ball downfield here methodically.
And we've seen that this season from this group.
Yep.
Seem like they've got a pretty good grasp on the game time situations. They ate up a lot of clock in that fourth quarter win over Pinkerton and left the Astros with limited time to respond 2 weeks ago. This one is tipped and incomplete. Yeah. Everybody holding their breath for a second.
Kevin Hamill,
South
number 75,
came up with the pick.
He grabs that ball, runs down the field. He's going to keep that as a souvenir, Nick.
That's the big defensive lineman.
He wanted it bad. You could see. Yep.
Just a little behind him.
A little behind him, that's all.
But a good tip. Nonetheless, we've seen South with active hands in this first half. Well, their second interception came via the tip earlier in the second quarter.
Absolutely, Nick. The whole second quarter with South has been, just tale of 2 cities. Tale of 2 quarters between the 2 of them.
2nd down and 10 from their own 43. 2:17 to play. Before halftime, a 3-man rush. Handoff Helton left side, and again he's met low and tackled by Patno.
There he is.
Patno's been a star here defensively.
He's making a little highlight reel for himself.
He's got a team high, unofficially, of course, 4 tackles in this first half.
Well, how do you control how do you get some highlights with the number 1 guy or top 2 or 3 anyway running backs in the league? And that's just great stuff right there. 2 in a row.
No gain there for Helton.
Or 2 out of 3.
3rd down and 10. Bedford okay with letting the clock tick.
Yep.
As we come up on the 100-second mark here. First down marker is at the South 47. May with Helton to his right. 2 receivers and a wingback right as well. He's got Suazo short side left, and now Coach Matthews is going to call his first timeout.
Yep. I think this is a great timeout to call, Nick. He's got the time on the clock. Now he's got 2 more to go. He can stop it once and stop it when he makes his decision, whether he goes for a touchdown or 3, if that's what the situation comes to bear. So he's really managed this just right, and this is all about not giving South any opportunity if he kicks it away to get downfield.
For those just joining us, Bedford looked very good out of the gate. They scored twice.
They sure did.
On their first 2 possessions. Brody Helton, 2 rushing scores of 3 yards and 6 yards. Bulldogs led 14-0 after 1. South using their defense to turn things around in the second quarter.
Yep.
3 takeaways. Helped set up a 27-yard touchdown on a short field for Sam Levine. 2-point try failed. And that is where we are, 14-6 between these 2 7-0 teams here in week number 8.
Yeah. So you're seeing right now, A, while they're 7-0, and B, how do they respond when they're taking on a team playing at the level they haven't seen anything close to before. I would give South a lot of credit for they could have very easily just made that a running clock, and they did. They just a type of game, and they have come back strong.
3rd and 10. May back to the air. He's got time. He's going to go deep, and this one is incomplete.
What a play by number 15.
Trying to find Peter Suazo, but with him step for step
Smiley.
was Gus Smiley, the senior, who made a nice play on the ball.
Wow, he just timed that.
And now 4th and 10 on the way.
This is first rate right here by Gus. Now watch. Look at that. He knows it. He knows. Look at the eyes of it, and then he gets his hands right where it needs to be not to draw a penalty. Perfect timing. Gus, that right there is Division I defensive corner. Look at that. Looking at his eyes. There was no way he could look back and take the chance.
Helton, who also serves as Bedford's punter, is going to drop back with his toes at the 30-yard line here. 1:23 to go. Takes a high snap, gets off the kick. It's going to float left and take a bounce out of bounds inside the 30 at the 29. That'll leave South with 1:17 to go.
So let's give Coach Matthews the credit he deserves. He did not sit there and let, so I'm just going to conserve the time because I need it. He says, this team's playing good defense against me. I've got to probably conservative my playbook just a little bit the way they're playing. And what does he do? He runs the clock down to 1:30, now down to 1:17, and is able to kick it away and really put the pressure on South. That's just great game management. I look at those things, and I say that's a coach who knows how to manage a game.
1st and 10, it's Levine. That'll trigger the clock. South does have all 3 timeouts to work with.
You trust your
James
defense.
Tambalevich, sorry, Steve, with the tackle there after a 2-yard carry.
Sorry, Nick, I'm a little amped up tonight.
No, that's all right.
It's funny, I quit drinking coffee 3 days ago, and I'm feeling better, more hyped up than I did when I was.
Jackson is in trouble. Going to roll out right, throws on the move, and this one is broken up by Poltroneri. Collides with Fish, but timed it well. It's incomplete.
Really risky pass right there, Nick, to throw that. Boy, but what you did see there is Cody. Look at the gun this man. This is his weak side, folks. Look at this. Now he goes to his strong side, on the run, throws a dart, but boy, number 1,
Poltroneri in the
Dean
right
Poltroneri,
spot.
ready to go.
3rd and 8. Jackson is behind the receiver, incomplete.
Nice movement in the pocket,
Hoping to hook up with Cabrera over the middle.
Yeah.
So, South, they decided to stick to the air, and as a result, leave Bedford now with 42 seconds for a possible response as Helton and Matthews are going to drop back deep for the Bulldogs.
May in that situation, way on the other end, Nick, I would have run that football right there and forced Zach to call a timeout, so he's only got 1 left. And that would have changed things. But with 42 seconds with 2 timeouts, we'll see.
This one is a good punt by Boyce over the head of Matthews. Helton wants no part of it.
Nope.
And South will down it at the 35-yard line here. 32 seconds for Coach Matthews to work with.
32, but with 2 timeouts.
Yep.
Like I say, Nick, I would have run that football, got him down to 1 timeout, and go into that half knowing darn well after that first quarter, your team has proven that they can play head-to-head for a quarter now. Now you got 2 more to go. I'd go into the clubhouse almost guaranteeing you run that clock out and get in there with an 8-point margin. doing pretty well considering what happened in the first quarter.
Plus, they're going to get the football. Bedford won the toss and elected to receive to begin the football game.
We got to say something up here, so that's,
Well, I think your analysis is correct in that South, barring they can escape here for the final 32 seconds, is in pretty good shape. This one off the hands of Helton, incomplete. A lot of mustard on that short pass there from May.
I don't think this is the coldest night, but it is a cooler night we've had. I don't know if that's having a play into some of these, you get cold fingers in the beginning.
Well, apparently, because we've seen a lot of those type of plays here tonight where it's gone off the intended target's hands up into the air.
7 misses tonight. At least 6.
Yeah.
I think there's 7. Combined. Yeah. I got 4 and 3. And there might be 8, Nick, actually, go back. But there's a lot of them for a receiver core that's as talented as these two groups.
Some of those tip balls have led directly to interceptions. Bedford with 3 giveaways in this first half. They're going to go deep here on second down, and that one incomplete. Double covered. Suazo with no real chance there as both Emmons and Levesque with him step for step there.
You want to see how to defend and use your body to not get a penalty call but kind of interfere with the running path at the same time. Pretend that you think you're getting the ball. You'll see it here on the replay by Emmons. This is just great defense and knowing how to shield the receiver to be able to get to it with all the time, decoying that you think you're acting like you're trying to get the ball. Maybe we'll see it later.
3rd and 10. Bedford going to, again, stick with 3 receivers and a wing. Tight end right with Helton behind May. Helton is wrapped up immediately in Woozy. Able to get there, the big D end. That long reach, able to wrap up Helton.
South getting stronger, Nick. I think they're getting stronger as the game goes on.
Helton loses a yard there, and Coach Matthews is not interested here in the final few seconds. So Bedford, after a 14-0 lead, the 2-time Division I champs are going to have to settle with a 14-6 edge at halftime in the battle of the unbeatens.
Well, Nick, this is turning out to be what we thought might continue in the first quarter, or we're wondering. South put the emergency brake on that one, and they really stepped up and literally sharpened up from all 3 phases of the game. And really what it came from was a belief that we're not going to lose. We're not going to have a team run over us like this. We're going to change the paradigm here, and we're going to step up to these guys. And we're going to, we're talking about all first quarter, Nick. Defensively, they're catching the offensive running attack by Bedford. Even the receivers playing off, kind of keeping them under them. Second quarter, nothing of the sort. I assume just great coaching from the sidelines of just getting those guys to come out and recognize this is now or never, guys. You can't play like this. And wow, you got to give South a ton of credit.
14-6, our halftime score. Coming up momentarily, live coverage of the Bedford Marching Band as they get set to entertain this big crowd here in Bedford. Steve and I with a lot to go over as well, including stats, highlights, analysis, full recap, and an out-of-town scoreboard to get to as well.
Officials, fantastic job this first half.
Yes.
Communicating, I think they got them all right, quite frankly. They did a terrific job, and that was not an easy quarter, easy half for an officiating crew to call.
All right.
So proud of these guys.
When we come back, all the entertainment you can handle. Halftime here in Bedford, 14-6 Bulldogs leading the Purple Panthers. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com. How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today. Colonial Printing is family owned and celebrating 50 years of quality print services for New Hampshire businesses and can help yours as well. Whether it's creative design, digital or offset printing, or banners and signs, with state-of-the-art technology, unlimited industry sources, and the ability to think outside the box, Colonial Printing will help you get your job done. To see their full list of services, promo products, and portfolio, or to request an estimate, visit colonialprintingnh.com. That's colonialprintingnh.com.
Halftime here in Bedford with the Bulldogs leading Nashua South by a score of 14-6. Nick Anastas, Steve Beals with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. Two teams still undefeated in week number 8. Identical 7-0 records. Two of the three remaining undefeated teams in Division I meeting here at Bulldogs Stadium. Bedford riding a 23-game win streak coming in. And the two-time Division I defending champion showed you why on the first two possessions. They methodically ran the football behind junior running back Brody Helton. 2 touchdowns in that first quarter of 3, and then again on 6 yards out, from 6 yards out. 14 zip Bedford after 1. But then the turnover bug bit the Bulldogs a bit in that second quarter as quarterback Jack May was intercepted twice, and Helton later lost a fumble. That kept the door open for South. They took advantage. In the first 2 minutes of that second quarter, Sam Levine, 27-yard touchdown, looked good running down that sideline. 2-point try failed. And then, Steve, the final 10:27 of the first half was scoreless. That's exactly where we are with South set to receive the football to begin the third quarter.
Boy, you could go through 10 different things, Nick. Obviously, the turnovers are a significant factor. Clearly, the first turnover that South got that interception, Nick, everything changed after that. It was almost like someone had hooked up an electrode to the whole football team, and they just took off, and they got a little bit of life, got back to football, and they just gained momentum. And it continued to gain, I would argue, all the way through the second quarter. And I think that they basically, even though you could talk about the points, but they kind of deuced Bedford as far as it maybe even exceeded them a little bit on taking advantage and creating fortunes, good opportunities. And you got to the defense, Nick. The other thing that I noticed is the defense of South. They were just, as I talked about 3 times already, they were catching the offensive runners. They were catching the blockers. They were standing up on defense, not getting separation, kind of getting owned by the offensive line, and all of that changed after that. How often do you see a defense go up and nail Brody at the line so many times? So this is a 7-0 football team. They've answered the call, and what you look for in your athletes when they get in big games is like this. Bad things can happen, but it's what you do with them and how you respond. South's done a great job. We're in for a great second half. You still got to call Bedford a favorite with a 14-6 lead coming in as a favorite, but South's knocking on the door and doing a lot of good things and proving why they're where they are. Arguably tonight, they can close this thing within 1 score or win the game, Nick. We are going to have one incredible end of the season for matchups taking place.
Yeah. Reminder, tomorrow we are on the road again at Manchester Memorial, a feel-good story in Division I. They've had a successful campaign so far. Crusaders playing host to Winnicott. That's another team that should be in the playoffs after a couple of years outside of that bubble. So a good one tomorrow between Memorial and Winnicott in our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance. But, Steve, some unofficial numbers from that first half. Brody Helton, the workhorse again for Bedford, 16 carries, 97 yards, 2 touchdowns, did lose 1 fumble. And, of course, Jack May, he looked sharp early, had 3 completions for 35 yards in that first half, but, again, did toss the 2 interceptions. For Nashua South, their junior quarterback, Cody Jackson, looked good, 6 completions for 40 yards, added a couple of runs for 25 rushing yards as well. His favorite target was senior Kyle Emmons, who hauled in all 6 of those passes for 40 receiving yards. And he also completed a throw of 43 yards to Josh Tripp. An update, by the way, on Tripp. He was seen at last check over on that Nashua sideline, but he has not returned to the game since leaving back in the first half. So hopefully we'll see the junior at some point in the second half. Other scores from around the state, a busy Friday night in week number 8. And I suppose it's appropriate that we start with the other unbeaten team in Exeter. They are taking on Portland up in Maine tonight. And early on in the fourth quarter, they hold a commanding 35-18 lead over Portland. So it looks like barring a big change, that Exeter will wake up tomorrow morning with an 8-0 record.
Yeah, solid.
Same thing as whoever wins this game here between South and Bedford. Elsewhere in D1, Pinkerton, right now, no problem with Concord, leading the Crimson on the road 29-7.
Yeah.
Midway through the second quarter there.
Good team.
And right now, a wrestling match, Steve, in Wyndham. Londonderry holding a very slim 7-0 lead at halftime over the Jaguars.
Wyndham's tough. Wyndham is tough. We saw him, Nick, the other week. They work. I love going there, as you know, and it was a good matchup. So
in Division II
for a while.
A big matchup of contenders between Souhegan and Pelham, two one-loss teams in Division II. And right now, Souhegan on the road late in the second quarter leads the Pythons 14-8.
Yep.
Our score there. And a bonus score for you. St. Thomas leading Kingswood 7-0.
Whoa, you're really going. You're going all over the state.
All right, we do have an update, Steve, on the Tripp injury.
Yep.
He is not expected to return, according to the Nashua Telegraph's Tom King.
That's a big loss, but hopefully he'll be back, because he did partially walk. He put some weight on it, so that was good. Nick, if it's okay, I want to give a call out to a couple that I met on the way here. One of the defensive and wide receiver coach for South, Pat Noonan, and his beautiful wife, just stopped me there and said that they love Friday Night Lights, and they want to tell me that they are expecting a child, and they were so excited, beaming from ear to ear. So
congratulations.
Always like to give credit to these coaches, and imagine the time that they put in, and so congratulations to Pat and his wife, that they'll have a happy occasion coming up and a good healthy child.
Congratulations, and we appreciate everybody tuning in, not just across the state or across the country, but worldwide. Here's the return. It's Colin Kachenik.
Oof.
A lengthy return that ends up with a tackle along the sideline. Noah Casamasino, one of the captains, with another good play on special teams.
I think Noah had a Powerade at halftime. Wow.
He's listed at just 5'7", 172, but he's one of Bedford's bigger hitters.
He's just as boy, if you want to get a prototype on how to tackle a guy larger than you and take him down with ease, that young man can do it. He's just got great form. Great spirit, great heart.
He also had a 12-yard carry on offense in that first half. So here comes Colin Jackson. He's going to face a four-man front here on 1st and 10 from his own 33-yard line. Hand up the middle. Goes to Levine. Sheff is right there on his back for the tackle. Sheff was busy along the D-line in that first half for Bedford, now unofficially with 4 tackles, a team high.
It's great to have the kick come to you, but you got to execute. They've got to put together a nice drive here. And get either, if not tie it, get within a point. And that would change the whole status of this game.
Levine was busy in that first half for South, 7 carries, 39 yards. Here's a short completion near side for Colin Levesque. First time he's touched the football tonight.
Yeah.
He's out of bounds at the 42-yard line. That's a little shy of the marker. We're going to call it 3rd and 1 coming up.
Nice tackle by Dean Poltrinari. Watch this. Same situation we were talking about last time. Good teams tackle well. That just goes right into the center of gravity, takes the legs out. Can't run the ball if your legs are wrapped.
Jackson joined by 2 backs here for the 3rd and 1. Hand off right side, a lot of room. This is Emmons.
Whoa!
Makes a man miss at the 35, and now it's a foot race. At the 10, at the 5, touchdown!
Wow.
Nashua South. No
flags.
58-yard touchdown run. Kyle Emmons showing you what he can do in the open field. South is within 2 at 14-12.
The heck, Nick, we're taking time off the clock. Let's just get it done, get this game tied up, and bring it on. This team is on fire right now. Look at this inside cut right here. Look at that. Completely breaks the ankles right there. I thought he was going to get caught. And look at that open field speed. This kid is playing himself a game.
A 58-yard touchdown run, and now a 2-point try, looking to tie the game. They keep it with Jackson, and the junior goes up the middle for 2 more. 14 unanswered points by the Purple Panthers, and a little bit of a sense of unease here amongst the Bulldog fans.
I would agree. Crowd's a little quiet right now, and the fans over at South are going wild on the right side of the field stands.
Jackson, the 2-point try. And Nashua South has tied the game after trailing 14-0 through 12 minutes of action. The defense stepped up in that second quarter. The offense has picked up the slack as well, and we are tied. Bedford now asked to respond as they send Bennett Matthews and Brody Helton onto the field deep. They have not seen a kick in their direction tonight, as South has preferred to keep the football away from the two-speed Demons. Liam Gallagher is the senior kicker, and he swings the right foot. It's a liner, and it does go towards Matthews. He fields it on the run. He's over the 30, going to reverse direction at the 35 and take a seat.
Boy.
At about the 36-yard line. Upended there by John McDevitt.
I may have this wrong, Nick, but Gus Smiley fought his heart out to get outside contained to turn Bennett upfield. If it was him, somebody did, and what an outstanding effort that is. These are the little things that change football games. Coached it for years, and I can tell you, look at that fight by Gus Smiley to slow him. Actually, it was...
He was 13 on the edge.
It was 30 on the edge.
30.
Yep, 30 on the edge. Gus did a great job, too.
Nathan Case, the senior.
Nathan, those are big-time plays that nobody sees.
Except Steve Bills.
Well, I wouldn't say that. But
up the middle, it's Helton. Plenty of room there. A nice hold to the right side. It's going to result in a 9-yard carry on first down. And it also puts the junior over the 100-yard mark tonight. Now with $1.06 in counting here for number 26.
An offensive coach's dream, offensive play caller's dream to have 2nd and 1, Nick. You love out at midfield where you can open everything wide up. There's nothing that you can't do from that spot. So I have a funny feeling Zach Matthews wants to get that lead back.
Looking for points for the first time since drive number 2 back in the first quarter. They scored 2 touchdowns on their first 2 trips, but have been held off the scoreboard since. Casas Messino around the corner.
Oh, he's met hard.
At midfield, driven out of bounds at about the Nashua South 49-yard line. That is a Bedford first down.
Good hard run.
Second carry tonight for Casa Messino.
Yeah, Bedford, I think, got a little off guard on that last offensive drive, and you can feel the intensity that the Bedford offensive line, you watch them come off the football, they know that they got to put together a drive here.
2 minutes in, third quarter. Bedford looking for a response. The Bulldogs students starting to get vocal again to our left. The nose of the football is right at the 50. A crowded box for Helton.
Oh.
He's going to run right into it, and he's met in the hole by Ray Karuru, who has been fearless tonight defensively for Nashua South. He holds Helton to just a 3-yard gain there. 2nd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, I mean, this is not anywhere near the same defensive group that you saw. It's almost just like all of a sudden the lights turned on, and you can see the anticipation of the 3 defensive down linemen. They're engaged.
2nd down and 7. May with Helton behind him. 2 receivers near side, 1 to the right. That's Bennett Matthews at the top of the screen with a good cushion. Low snap. Pitch to Helton, and he's undercut in the open field.
5.
That's Colvin Levesque.
Yep.
The junior has looked good. He ripped the ball away from Helton and took it away.
Yep.
Back in the first half. This time he meets Helton 3 yards in the backfield. No, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. It's 3rd down and 12.
Well, they're flowing as a defense, Nick, with precision, and everybody can't wait to get to the ball. The exact opposite of first quarter. These guys are bringing it. Everyone's in their lanes. They are playing disciplined, not undisciplined, Nick, and they're coming after Brody rather than sitting back and waiting. And that's the only way to play defense. They score, but let it all hang out.
3rd and 12. The first down marker is at the South 40-yard line where 3 safeties have their toes in the turf. Meanwhile, we have our first timeout either way in this second half. It's going to be used by Coach Matthews of Bedford. Our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Beals Insurance, locations in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Visit BealsInsurance.com. By MG Sports Fundraising. That's fundraising made easy. MG Sports Fundraising is the official fundraising partner of Friday Night Lights New Hampshire. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com. Start raising money for your team today. By the New Hampshire Tomahawks. Showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit nhtomahawks.com and also girls.nhtomahawks.com. And finally, by Colonial Printing. Family owned and operated for over 50 years. Start your next project today at colonialprintingnh.com. Nick and Astis, Steve Beals with you. It's our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire game of the week, and it's been a good one. Nearly 4 minutes gone by, third quarter. Bedford coming out of the timeout, facing a 3rd down and 12. It's a 4-man rush. May to his right, throws over the middle, and the catch is made very close
to
the first down stick by Bennett Matthews, and it does appear like he's a half a yard shy. That'll bring up 4th down and 1 officially.
Yeah, you can guarantee that quarterback, Jack May, is going to stay on the field.
Hard to believe it. That's Matthews' first catch tonight.
Yep.
He did have a couple of rushes, and he also completed a pass on a trick play in the first half.
What you want to tell that receiver is get on the line, which he was, and don't try to turn sideways, because when you do, you go backwards. Take that ball, know where you are, and then back your rear end up and get that first down.
4th down and less than a yard. Bedford going to go for it. May going to stay in the pistol. South going to load up the box. Helton is the tail, a little bit of movement. Now the snap comes, and now the whistle blows.
This is going to be an interesting call. I'm not sure that Bedford on the right side didn't jump. My guess is it's going to be against Bedford in this situation. They're talking about it. Looked to me like I couldn't tell right guard or right tackle. Looked like he jumped. Offsides, they're going to call it against South. So he must have stayed still.
Yep.
And I think that he had gone offsides, maybe, but I always watch the offensive line.
Well, just 2 penalties against South in that first half, and they're going to have to eat a big 5-yarder here.
Clearly offsides there. Okay.
Nobody flinched for Bedford.
Nobody flinched.
And Bedford remains penalty-free tonight. 1st and 10 Bulldogs. They get the big 4th down penalty.
They are disciplined.
Football is now at their own 36. They go back to the ground with Helton, and he's got a hole. He's inside the 30 and almost left his feet there.
Yep.
Tackled, and now a flag flies late.
Uh-oh. And we talked about these penalties, Nick, before and after. This is going to be a personal foul.
They're crediting Gus Smiley with the tackle.
And it looked like there was words.
Perhaps between Smiley and Helton.
And
the officials are going to talk about it here.
Bedford's saying it's against South. So, but this is, again, Nick,
avoidable penalties.
Senseless penalties in almost or inside or almost near the red zone. Whoever made this, it's just you're taking your teams, all the work all week, into your own hands.
Well, you could see Smiley after the tackle emphatically started clapping the hands right in front of the back judge.
Yeah.
And that's when the flag was thrown.
I have no idea who this is against.
Meanwhile, the officials still taking their time in the huddle discussing what just took place. So no official word yet. This all comes with less than 5 minutes to go. 5 minutes gone by in this third quarter. And you can see both head coaches a few yards onto the field here in anticipation of the call.
False start, off sides, a face mask even. They're all infractions that come from the energy given in between the whistles. They're going to see it here.
Here's Joe Serra.
Coming over to Coach Matthews, so my guess is it's against South. You may have called it, Nick. It might have been words coming from. It was no question. It was between.
Oh, it's against Bedford. Wow.
Yeah, okay. So
it's a personal foul against Bedford.
I think it's against Brody.
And you can see now Helton is speaking with the officials directly as well.
Oh, that should stop quickly. Players don't generally go to referees, Nick.
No.
High school players. You stay away.
Helton is going to head to the huddle.
You let your coaches do that work.
The officials are going to march off the penalty yards. Coach Matthews still seeking a further explanation here as he makes his way onto the field.
He should.
Meanwhile, the ball, Steve, is going to be spotted at the 41-yard line.
No problem, Nick. He needs.
Cat needs your keys.
Oh, okay.
So that's the first Bedford penalty of the night, and it backs Bedford up 15 yards. It still will be a 1st and 10 situation with the football at the Purple Panther 41-yard line. And again, the officials, after spotting the football, are going to continue to talk here. The clock is stopped again. And everybody on both sides of the field now just hoping to resume and after a several-minute delay here, get back into rhythm.
Right. No, what I was talking about earlier there, Brody did nothing. He was going up very respectfully, trying to talk to the ref, but you want to, as a player, stay away, let the official come to you, or allow your coach, go to your coach like, I don't understand,
right,
and get that. So Brody meant nothing but respect by it, but it's just not a good idea to do it.
1st down and 15. I'm sorry, they had 1st and 10 on the board. The 1st down marker is at the 27-yard line. The football is just inside the 42. Bedford going to tighten things up here and stick with the run on 1st down. Helton shoots out of a
little extra
cannon up the middle. Another hole there.
A little extra on that.
He's inside the 35 and down to the 33. Smiley again with the tackle out of the secondary.
Yeah, Smiley's having a good game, Nick. Had a great second half, checking in time after time. Not a real big guy, but boy, toughness. That young man does not lack.
Helton continuing to have a productive night here. 16 yards so far in this third quarter and 113 on the night. Midway through third quarter, 2nd down and 6 with the game tied at 14. Bedford hoping to get back into the red zone for the first time since the first quarter. Matthews
got the
cautiously going to search out some room to his left and ends up down at the 25-yard line. Kyle Emmons with the stop for South.
Yep, that time South again, Nick. You just put them 15 yards back from where they were, and Bedford in 2 plays gets a 1st down. Bedford's on fire. Their offensive line is really coming off well right now, and Brody's putting a little bit of extra mustard on those hot dogs, and that's the kind of competitor he is coming forward. And, boy, did you see him lead block there for Bennett Matthews. He was laying out the wood right there.
Matthews, 2 carries for 19 yards in that first half. Adds 8 more to his total on that 1st down run. So 1st and 10, ball just outside the 25-yard line. Matthews back in motion. Helton with the carry, left side, met at the 20. And spun out of bounds by Emmons. That draws an enthusiastic reaction.
There it goes.
From the student section, and now a flag is thrown. Well, you can see Helton there trying to pump up the students.
Yeah,
Emmons,
it looked to me, Nick, like that
spun him out of bounds, and that could be the first personal foul against South.
Yeah, he was to me, Nick, we're going to see it here. It looked to me way out of bounds when he threw him down. And again, if it's a continuation and it's brought down with a 4, that's fine. But you've got him out of bounds right there. Oh. Yeah, the official with the ball mark did not make the call. It was the back judge. Actually, yeah, you just can't throw a guy around. Brody helped it out a little bit at the end. I thought he did a good job there because Brody knew that was Helton knew that was way out of bounds, so he kind of finished it. But you can't do that if you're South. That was
tough one to swallow.
Yeah, but we talked about this all year, Nick. These things matter.
4 for 35 tonight against South. 1 for 15 in terms of penalties.
Yeah, we saw that
against Bedford.
We saw that when. Last year in the championship game, remember, I think it was at least 2.
There may have been.
With Londonderry Bedford.
All right, so here come the Bulldogs looking to retake the lead. 1st and 10, Helton. Right side, makes the cut.
Good defense.
Yeah. Indubisi was there on the edge again for Nashua South. And we'll see where they spot the forward progress. It's back at the line of scrimmage, so no gain there for Helton.
Yeah, my guess you're going to see Jack May roll out to the right, Nick, and he'll have a short defender inside the receiver on the inside of the 5-yard line, and my guess is he'll have a deep guy in the corner, and he'll have a back pass that he can throw towards the middle. My guess is that's the play you're going to see right now.
2nd and goal. inside of 5 minutes, third quarter.
Going to roll out to the right, I think. Maybe he'll just stay with Brody. I don't know.
May's got Helton right behind him. 3 receivers, 2 strong side left. Hand off to Helton. There's a hole there, but it's snapped shut as he goes through it. He's inside the 10, looking for the 5. They're going to spot him at about the 6.
Yeah, Zach just really upset. Something didn't go right there. I'm almost wondering if Zach wanted him to fake that pass. There's obviously a play discrepancy that happened right there. But Zach's going to let him know, you got to dial in. My guess is the play that was run was different than the play that was called.
Karuru, who has been busy at that DN spot tonight for South with a team-high 5 tackles. Perhaps none bigger than that one there. It forces a 3rd down and 6. 3rd and goal from the 6, Inside of 4 minutes now, third quarter.
You may see it now.
Same set. South with 4 down linemen. They're going to blitz a 5th, but this one is blown dead first. Coach, got Coach Matthews upset.
He's really
and now
fired
Bedford
up on the
is going
sideline.
to use their second timeout right here with 3:38 to go in the third quarter. So they had to spend one earlier, and I'm sure Coach Matthews wasn't planning on spending a second here.
Yeah, they're talking it over. They're talking. Look, Coach Matthews is as aware as anybody else in the football field, any coach in this league, all the top guys. He's right up there with them of understanding the significance of third quarter football.
Right.
And he is really he's got to get these guys dialed in, stop these senseless penalties, and everybody's got to dial in and don't take a play off. And he's going to let them know it right now. I think this timeout is just about that, about getting guys realigned. And he's doing his players a favor, Nick, by doing that. Just say, hey, look, guys, this is not any mediocre football team you're playing. They're playing you for check the scoreboard. You've got to go out there and earn it.
Well, his team opened to grab the momentum back. They had it to begin the game, led 14-0. 2 Brody Hutton first quarter touchdowns put them out in front 14-zip after 1. Turnover bug bit in the second quarter.
Yep.
3 takeaways by South and a touchdown by Sam Levine made it 14-6. Then in the third quarter, Kyle Emmons, longest play of the night, a 58-yard touchdown run. 2-point try by Cody Jackson. We're tied at 14. Now Bedford on the ensuing response. They're inside the 10. It's a 3rd and goal from the 6-yard line. May throw complete left side and into the end zone for the touchdown goes Dustin Westcott. A 6-yard score for the senior who had to drag 2 Purple Panthers with him into the end zone.
Well, Nick, we talked about what happens when you've got to get to a certain point. The best thing to do is shore up the football and back your tail end in. Now watch this pass. He knows it. He turns, and he backs and drives those legs into the end zone. That's just great field awareness of where he is, and he knows how far he had to get. What a great effort there. I like the call.
6-yard touchdown pass out of the timeout. And now another flag.
Down. False start.
Yep. So Bedford will eat their second penalty of the game and of the drive.
Probably
going to back up the extra point try 5 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a great leg. 5 yards isn't going to be a big deal, but you don't want that kind of penalty. It's just playing good, clean. For the first half with Bedford was, what'd you say, Nick, 1 penalty the whole half on Bedford?
None.
Sorry, none.
Both of their penalties tonight have come on this drive.
Yeah, it's just they played a flawless first quarter. As far as penalties are concerned.
Going to have to connect here from 25 yards out. May is the holder. It's a good snap. The kick is up and good.
Yeah, it's good.
21-14 Bedford. 6-yard touchdown pass from Jack May to Dustin Westcott on a crucial 3rd down and goal. Puts the Bulldogs back out in front by 7.
Whole drive riddled with senseless penalties, Nick, on both sides.
Yeah.
That 15 yards lost, then Bedford 15-yard gained. Capitalized. Great job by the receiver, protecting the football, driving his legs with his tail end towards the goal line, fighting his way in.
So now Nashua South will look to get back up off the mat. Cody Jackson over there on the far side. Going to hope for a good return from one of the 2 deep guys, Colin Kachenik or Diego Cabrera. They're both back inside the 10-yard line.
Good coaches know when their team needs a good talking to. And I think that Coach called the perfect timeout. Coach Matthews, thank you, called a perfect timeout and got his troops together. And I can just imagine what he said, because you saw they got the message really quick there, and that's what those guys will look at him as a leader because he knows he's gonna shove them through the tough times and tell them this is the bar, you got to meet it, man.
Here comes the kick from Petrie, short, fielded by Smiley, who runs into his own teammate, lost his footing at the 35-yard line.
Still pretty good field position given all the went on there.
Given the short kick, Smiley, who's asked to do a lot tonight defensively, didn't expect to get hit so hard from his own teammate there, but I suppose that happens sometimes. He collided with junior Preston Boys. All right, Bedford ready to go here defensively, hoping to limit Nashua South. Colin Jackson with other plans in the visitor huddle. Inside of 3.5 to go in this third quarter.
It's that simple, Nick. You got to answer. You got to put together. It don't matter what. Go down there, kick a field goal if you have to, but you got to keep scoring. Keep it tight.
4 defensive linemen for Bedford. Fish is in motion for South. They handle Levine on first down. Going to keep the legs turning, and that pile is moving now east-west. They're going to blow it dead where? At about the 38-yard line. That's a gain of 3 on the second touch tonight for Justin Fish. South has relied on primarily their top receiver, Kyle Emmons, tonight. He had 6 catches in that first half. It's been Cody Jackson's favorite target. He's going to hand this time to Emmons, who gets spun down in the hole by Sheff. After crossing the 40-yard line, they label him down at the 41. A 3-yard gain, 3rd and 3 coming up. Inside of 3 minutes, third quarter. Emmons earlier in this third quarter had that 58-yard touchdown. They're not going to call his number. They're going to go with Fish.
Yeah, Cody should have kept that.
And he gets bodied in the hole there by Helton.
Yeah, Cody's got to read that better, Nick. If you watch on the replay, if we can get it from up top, you're going to see all of the linebackers stepped inside. And there you go. Now, all the linebackers are stepped inside. Cody's got it wide open on the outside. He's got to take that ball back.
South, meanwhile, is going to go for it.
Yep. I get it.
Fourth down and 4 from their own 41. Levine is in motion. They keep it in the quarterback's hands, and Jackson is stopped short, or was he? Second effort is going to make this close.
I don't think he's got it.
Yeah, the Bedford's celebrating. I think he's about a yard shy. It looked like he was going to be well short. A good second effort made it at least close.
That's Bedford ball.
But Bedford's going to take over. The defense celebrating after the 4th down stop. The offense ready to take over at the South 44-yard line.
Do not understand, Nick, why they're going up the middle 2 plays in a row. All the techniques were inside. All the slants were inside. Containment was driving down, and the linebackers were stepping inside. And you got Cody Jackson. I don't know why you don't fake that through the middle. You've got to read the coverage there and keep the ball. He also, with a guy with Cody's quality, he ought to be able to make that audible call and just decide to keep it himself if he reads that the end on that right side. Because with that kind of speed, he had all the room in the world to get that first down and then much more.
So a very short field here for Bedford. 1st and 10 at the opponent 44-yard line. Bulldogs lead 21-14. May against a 2-man rush finds Casamassino underneath.
Good tackle.
Not sure if that was a screen blown up or not. Either way, South sniffs it out. No gain there on the catch by Casamassino.
Critical time in the game, Nick, right now. And the stakes are high for South because Bedford's got the ball. Their defense has got to get it done for them. And then the offense has got to begin to look at some of with the stacking to the inside that Bedford's been doing. And, it's to me, they have between Emmons and Cody, they have the speed to get outside, Nick, if they're going to play in tight like that.
Final 90 seconds, third quarter. Casamassino actually scratched out 2 on that previous catch, so it's 2nd and 8. Westcott turns upfield and gets wrestled down by Bruno Goncalves, who has an interception to his credit tonight. Makes a good open field tackle there to keep Bedford shy of the first down. It looks like 3rd down and 4 on the way.
You're going to see number 50, Kevin DeBuzzi here. I think I got that right. What a great job he does in contain. Let's see what perspective we get it from. Watch the no, you can't see it here. There he is, number 50, controlling and containing and turn that run inside. That's not the best view to see it, but that guy is that's assignment football. He's got his responsibility, and he did it.
3rd down and 4. Final minute, third quarter. Bedford needs to get to the 34-yard line to keep the drive alive or to pick up a first down.
Big play.
Westcott is in motion. They hand to Helton. He's met at the line of scrimmage, but he breaks a tackle, and he's got a first down inside the 30.
How he breaks tackles.
That's a 10-yard.
He's just terrific. And, boy, when it comes down to it the most, Nick, he's there. He delivers.
Case with the tackle. A 10-yard pickup for Helton.
How did he break this? Look at this. They got him stood right up there, and look at that push-off right there. What a terrific job by Helton to get the separation and get outside. You can't tackle Brody Helton high, Nick. You've got to get to the hips or below.
All right, Bedford deciding not to run one final play here before the end of the third quarter. They're going to take the 1st and 10 to the other side of the break. 21-14 Bulldogs. Bedford looking to stay undefeated, extend their win streak to 24 straight. South, same goal in mind. They would love to come away with the upset on the road here. Fourth quarter on the other side. When we come back, you are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com.
Good timing.
Well, buckle up here for the final 12 minutes of regulation. Bedford looking to extend a 21-14 lead. Also hoping to extend their multi-year win streak. 23 in a row coming in tonight.
Ooh,
only one of these teams is going to exit 8-0. South, after trailing 14-0, tied the game back in the third quarter at 14. Bedford scored a touchdown on their previous trip and now hoping to re-enter the red zone via another Brody Helton run. He's tackled just shy of the 20. And after an 8-yard pickup, a 2nd and 2 is on the way for the defending champions.
That's it. You got to be pretty sharp to defend this play. What happened was they did a 4-man shift to bring everybody inside and gain blocking position on the defense, just enough to get Brody Helton through past the line of scrimmage, and then he does the rest for you with a nice, 7-yard gain. Good, well played, excellent play design, well executed.
Tackle by Patno, who's got a handful of stops tonight for South. 2nd down and 2. Matthews in motion. They hand left side to Helton, trying to cut it back.
Ooh.
But is tripped up in the hole by Ndebisi.
Yeah.
And you're right, he's about a half a yard shy.
4 down.
Ball just inside the 20-yard line.
4 down territory, though.
Minute gone by now, fourth quarter.
This is really, it looks like about 2 yards if I get the third down mark. But this is 2 downs, Nick, here to get this.
We'll call it 3rd and a yard and a half.
That's a pretty long leg. That'd be, 38 yards, 37 yards?
About that.
But I think he's actually got I think he could do it. But if they get close here with Bennett and Brody Helton.
Well, they're looking for the 4 feet here.
Yeah,
first down to avoid a 4th down decision altogether. It's an east-west run for Westcott.
He's short.
And he's short.
Be a yard, right?
Yeah, he got about a half a yard there. Westcott on his 3rd touch. And now Coach Matthews will make a decision here. 4th and a full yard.
I think he's
from
got
the 20-yard line.
I think he's got the leg, Nick. That's just great pursuit by the South defense, working together in flow, everybody flowing to the football, maintaining their lines, but they got there.
Bedford's going to go for it.
Yeah, I
4th and 1.
Kind of figured.
4-man front for South. Helton is the back in the pistol.
You've got the lead. Why not?
And now a whistle and maybe a timeout here from Coach Knight. Yes, sir.
Yeah, if nothing else, he got Coach Knight to have to do a timeout. He obviously didn't care for his defensive set on the field, given the offense. To me, Nick, I don't know where that stick is. It looks to me like it's a yard and a half, 2 yards. I don't know what you see.
Well,
but they got it way off the line.
The football is on the 20. And it looks like the first down marker.
Yeah, you're right.
Is a shade inside the 19. So this is fourth and perhaps a long one.
Yep.
Tomorrow, back at it.
Yeah.
Second part of our doubleheader. We're in Manchester as Manchester Memorial plays host to Winnicott. That's a 1 o'clock kick. Two teams looking for playoff positioning in Division 1.
I think they're going to get it.
We'll be on the air at about 12:45 as the Warriors and the Crusaders
This could be
get together tomorrow.
Major League battle for a home
game.
Yeah, Major League battle for a home game, Nick. Sorry about that.
Yep.
But you know, both of these teams that we're doing tomorrow, you really want to see them because these are two teams on the rise in Division 1, and they have personnel, younger personnel, some of them underclassmen that are outstanding players and athletes as starters right now.
Big play in this football game. A 4th down and 1. Just over 2 minutes gone by, fourth quarter. Bedford hoping to get inside the 19. South. It's like they're going to go an all-out blitz here. Handoff Helton left side. He cuts it up. First down and then some. Ends up inside the 13-yard line as he lowers the shoulder and brings two men with him to the turf.
Ride the Brody bus.
Yep. It was Cabrera who got the brunt of the contact there, the junior on the stop.
If you want to see how to run a football, now watch the lateral movement and then the cut. And then he just lowers his shoulder. He's as good a fundamental back. Forget all the natural talent, the strength, the size, the weight, the what's inside of him. He just has.
He's having another big night.
Yeah,
nearly 100 yards in that first half. He's added to that total here on this drive alone. Nearly 3 minutes gone by already in this quick-moving fourth quarter. Helton trying to bounce it left side. Stiff arm at the 10. He's alive at the 5. And a big collision occurs at the goal line. Helton, no signal. Yes, it's a touchdown. Helton, a full-speed collision right in front of the pylon. It's his third touchdown of the night, and Bedford again has made it a two-score game.
Dynamic in so many ways. Just a money player. You know, when's the last time Brody fumbled the ball? I mean, that one that was stolen from him, I was just going down. Yes, it's a fumble, but it's not like it was coughed up, so to speak. He was twisting and turning, but Brody's very, very – he secures the football as well as anybody in the league. And
he has been the go-to guy tonight.
Yeah, he's a third-quarter monster, really.
16 carries in that first half alone.
And Coach Matthews knows when to use him, how to use him.
Meanwhile, Helton a little slow.
Yeah.
Making his way to the home sidelines. Has a quick word with Coach Matthews. That's a situation to watch.
Yep.
Of course, South without one of their better players. Lost in the first half. Josh Tripp, the junior, out with an apparent leg injury.
Yep.
Extra point try coming up. As Zach Petrie has been perfect. They're going to blow this dead as a flag flies. The Pand apparently never got the memo.
Yeah.
As they begin to play.
Well, if you start the song, Nick, you might well finish it regardless, right? They're good.
You got an offsides against South.
They can entertain me anytime.
So half the distance to the goal, and that may be enough to change Coach Matthews' mind. He's calling the offense back onto the field here.
Grab two.
Trying to make this a 15-point cushion.
Why not make that distance?
So it only goes down as a 1-yard penalty on the sheet. Could be a little more costly than that.
I want to kind of go back to when Coach Matthews called that timeout, Nick. To me, remember we saw a time when Coach Knight called a timeout, brought his guys off the field, and they changed. They never would look back to the way they played in the first quarter. I think Coach Matthews did the same thing. And when he was having trouble calling in plays, a senseless penalty before it, said, guys, you've got to get everything back and focused here. Just two good coaches.
All right, 2-point try. Casamassino is the back as Helton is still on the sideline. Trying to recover from that big hit a moment ago. They go to Matthews, right side run. He's upended, but he's across the goal line.
That's a big
for
2
two.
points
so
right
it's
there.
29-14. Still a two-score game.
Yep.
But the hill a little steeper now for Nashua South with just over 9 minutes remaining in regulation.
Yeah, I mean, they're at a point, every possession that they're going to get, Nick, but they're going to probably get 2 more possessions. So they have to score, stop Bedford, and score. And with a 15-point lead, one of those has got to be a 2-point conversion just to tie the game.
Right.
My guess is he's going to go for the 2 points on both. On if they can score, he would probably go for 2 points on the first drive.
What a night for Helton. 3
Maybe
touchdowns. Of course, he's used to these big, gaudy numbers, these multi-touchdown games. He led the state as a sophomore last year. At least he led Division I in rushing.
Yep.
And I'd imagine, without seeing the numbers in front of me, that he's certainly near, if not atop that list again here in 2024. He's had a big night tonight, nearly 100 yards in the first half alone. And you could see dished out as much punishment as he took on that last run.
Absolutely.
That ended in the end zone. So a 14-yard touchdown. Helton's got the hat trick. And Bedford has got a comfortable lead again on the board. 15 points, 29-14. Petrie's kick is off the side of his foot, angles towards the left where it's scooped up on the bounce by Kochenik. Dances across the 25, is wrapped up and tackled from behind after crossing the 30. They're going to mark him at the 32, stopped there by Bedford's James Tumulovich, the junior linebacker. So South with decent starting field position on a must-have drive here with just about 3 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter.
Well, it's time. 9:07. You really, if you can't put a scoring drive together here, the incline and
the odds get a little.
The
longer.
odds get much wider. You got to, if you can get within one score, anything can happen.
They fake to Hemmings. They go over the middle, and Levine is cracked by Matthews.
Yep.
Incomplete.
Yeah.
And now a flag flies late.
Don't know what that is.
Coach Matthews is irate. He lost his headset as he roams the sideline in protest.
He's been hot tonight.
And we've seen a lot of penalties after the play tonight.
Yep.
Especially in the second half.
We'll see if we can see. I mean, the flag, Nick, was called over by with a quarter on towards the line of scrimmage, not downfield. So let's see. Are they going to call? That was all shoulder to me.
It's against South, it looks like.
Okay, so it's got nothing to do with a hit.
No.
This must have been stuff after the game.
The flag did come out late, but it's against South.
Yeah.
As they're backing up, and now we get the signal from referee Joe Serra. Illegal man downfield.
Then if that's the case, then why was Coach Matthews up?
I don't know. He may have thought it was
against them?
Against his son on the hit, but
yeah,
not the case. Instead, it's 5 yards.
That was all
against
shoulder.
Nashua South.
That was all shoulder to the body. I didn't see any head contact, Nick, on that.
Second down and 15. Coach Matthews trying to fire up the sideline. Hoping the defense can come up with a big play here on first and 15. Excuse me. Jackson looks left, throws right, and it's intercepted by Matthews. Picked off just outside the 40, comes to a sliding stop, and that's the second takeaway tonight by the Bulldog defense. Well, the crowd reacting to the interception. He laid out the big hit a moment ago on the incompletion and was right where he needed to be on that takeaway.
This is just athleticism at its best. Look at that. That's big play in a big time.
Mm-hmm.
And Bennett's done it pretty much all year. Look at that. Look at that interception. That's just great focus. Read the quarterback's eyes extremely well. Began running to the play. He could see it coming. Ball, that's just terrific work.
Intended for Fish, got in front of him. Comes away with the pick, and now Bedford.
It's a game changer right there.
With a 15-point lead, set to drain some clock perhaps with the football at the South 43-yard line. Just over 3 minutes gone by in this final quarter. Westcott, another carry, and look at this. Untouched, first down and then some. Inside the 20, ridden down, finally out of bounds inside the 10 at about the 7. Wow. So Westcott, a 35-yard rip. He scored a touchdown earlier in the second half. That's his longest run tonight and one of the longest plays from scrimmage for Bedford in the game.
Well, good teams know how to play 4 quarters strong, Nick, and both of these teams are notorious for playing 4 strong quarters, especially in the third and the fourth. Tonight, Bedford is taking over this game right now. And, it didn't happen from luck. It happened from making big plays And that one by Bennett Matthews was huge. Boy, if this is a runner of the future, they got some talent coming in as well. He's not a senior, right?
Westcott?
Yeah.
He is a senior.
Wow.
Actually. Meanwhile, Helton
nice
trying to
run.
reverse direction to his right, still alive as he crosses the 5, and is dropped by Karuru right about the 2-yard line. A gain of 4 there as Helton's big night continues. Well, this game has gone back and forth. Bulldogs jumped out early, 14-0 after 1. South trailed 14-6 at halftime. Able to tie the game at 14 about midway through the third. However, since then, it's been all Bedford. A touchdown from Jack May to Dustin Welcott, and then on the previous drive, it was Helton's third touchdown that increased the lead to 29-14. Now the Bulldogs look for another. Westcott on the right side are on, is going to end up short. And a 3rd and goal coming up from inside the 2.
On the half-yard line, I think. This is a strong 7 or 8 minutes, Nick, by Bedford at the critical time. Both teams are tested. They understand the importance at this time of the game. And you got to give Bedford here a lot of credit, Nick. Creating some distance, and they're knocking at the door again at the 2-yard line.
3rd and goal from the 2, and you can hear the crowd.
Yep. Student section's been very loud tonight.
Hoping to elevate the offense here.
And there's a connection with the student group with their players on the field. You can see them coming to the sidelines a lot.
Well, we're going to have to hang on, as Bedford is going to use their final timeout here with just about 5 minutes gone by in the 4th quarter. We saw this on the previous drive, a timeout on a 3rd down near the goal line that paid off for Bedford.
You can basically finish the game, Nick, if you can get in here, at least from the percentages go down to basically nothing. That's going to be unbelievable. You're probably talking 2 onside kick recoveries in order to even stay in the game and quick scores. So I agree with Coach Matthews. Why not use your last timeout in this situation? If you score here, you're not going to need it. But you've got to get everybody in line. He's got the goods, got the right players in the right place. Give him a little bit of water. Give him a little bit of a break, and then finish the run downhill.
Well, Helton
I'd be shocked.
The workhorse tonight out of the backfield yet again. He's back in the huddle. He was shaken up earlier, just briefly, though. Missed the 2-point try, but has returned since, and now all eyes perhaps will be on number 26 for this upcoming 3rd and goal. Ball just inside the 2-yard line. Loaded box here for South. Direct snap to Bennett Matthews. Makes a man miss, and he's in for the 2-yard touchdown. Matthews with a smooth-looking run there to cap off the drive as Bedford takes advantage of the short field. It's now 35-14.
Well, they use Matthews. He's just a slot receiver there. You could use him as a wideout. But they like to use him in jet motion, Nick, to create a decoy for and a very these two just work in tandem together. And, you load up everything against Brody, and then all of a sudden you run Matthews the backside. It's lethal.
This kid Petrie's automatic, too, as that kick goes right down the middle. He's perfect tonight.
Yep.
Bedford with a 36-14 lead, as they have now, Steve, scored 22 unanswered points.
Yeah. I mean, they've owned the 3rd quarter and really accelerated that. Actually, second half of the 3rd quarter, Nick. Like I say, when Zach called that timeout down the left side here earlier, and it's just been it's never changed after that. They just took over the game, and this team is explosive.
Well, that's why they've won 23 in a row. Of course, they're the 2-time defending champions. Let's rewind the clock back to 2022, where they were a 10 seed, Steve.
Yeah.
They lost the final game of the year against Merrimack and have not lost since. They rattled off 4 postseason victories, including a quote-unquote upset over Londonderry in the 2022 championship. And then last year were perfect, 9-0 during the regular season.
Yep.
Ended up, ironically, as the 3 seed, but that didn't matter. They got the first round bye. They won 2 games to get back in the championship against Londonderry, and then after trailing 8-0 early against the Lancers, put up 20 unanswered.
Who was that great
and won their second straight championship.
Great monster running back with Merrimack that night that just ran all.
Oh, I know who you mean.
Is it Hyde?
Mr. Hyde, yes.
Yeah, Hyde.
Romello Hyde.
Romello Hyde.
Meanwhile,
boy,
here's a
young
tackle
man run
at the
football.
35-yard line.
I wonder what he's
Gus
doing
Smiley.
now.
on the return. I don't know. He was a beast, though.
Yeah.
For Merrimack a few years back. Meanwhile, a good return by Gus Smiley. He's been a defensive star tonight, chipping in on special teams there with a healthy return to set up his team at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, you got to give Bedford credit. They know how to finish. They finished well against Pinkerton, and they finished well here against South. So,
South, they don't think they're finished. They got 7 minutes to go.
No. What I mean,
I know.
They're finishing in as far as the game is concerned.
I'm just giving you a hard time. Meanwhile, there's a good tackle here.
Would never count.
You got to like that, Steve. Jacob Sheff. How about 6 tackles up front for the big D tackle?
Yeah, he the first quarter had a great first quarter, and continued his play throughout.
No gain there for Jackson.
They're looking really deep right now.
They fake to Emmons. They go to Levine instead, and he's met in the hole and pushed backwards there by Tumulovic. A couple of stops there for the junior tonight.
Yep.
Levine contained to 4 on that carry. Levine looked good tonight.
He sure
although
did.
He has not been as active in this second half as he was before the break when he scored a 27-yard touchdown. Meanwhile, Jackson being pursued from behind. They're going to backpedal, going to throw, and fires a strike complete.
He moves well outside and inside the pocket.
The question is, did he go over?
I don't think so.
The line of scrimmage?
They're going to talk about it? Looks like they are. I didn't think so.
I didn't think so either.
I thought he was
there
behind
is a penalty.
the 35.
That's what I thought.
Well, we're going to see right here.
Well, the line of scrimmage is a 39.
That's what I mean, 39, sorry.
So you can see here he kind of decides to tuck and then says, nope, I'm going to throw a pass. And he's well behind the line of scrimmage. So the penalty is not that, but it is against South. And it's a personal foul against Nashua South. That's the second such penalty tonight against the Purple Panthers.
I don't know, Nick.
I don't know what happened there either. But penalties have started to impact the game in a negative way for Coach Knight's squad. They were pretty clean in that first half, just 2 for 15. But since then, Steve, in the second half alone, 5 for 41.
It's just getting redundant, Nick, to talk about it, how many of these are happening.
Midway through, fourth quarter. Just a 3-man rush is going to flush out Jackson on 3rd and long. He runs to his right, and he runs into trouble.
Got to run north-south there. It's not there. You got 2 guys outside containing the whole path, and you just got to cut up field and grab what's there.
Javon George is in the area. He's played well tonight for Bedford, the linebacker. Credited with the tackle there. And in the end, a loss of 1 for Levine. So it's punt time, it looks like, on a 4th and 16. As the clock moving again, ticking down towards the 5-minute mark. High snap, and this is more trouble for South. Preston Boys is going to drop on the ball in the end zone for a safety. So the special teams factoring in here, although that's just a faulty snap.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and more trouble there for
3.5 feet above his stretched out hands in the middle of a jump. That thing was skied.
So 36-14 becomes 38-14. The safety occurring with just over 5 minutes to go. And Bedford now, seems like that 14-14 tie midway through the third quarter was yesterday. As a lot has transpired over the last 12 minutes of game time action. Bedford has somehow managed to reel off now 24 unanswered points.
Let's give the offensive line of Bedford, Nick, a lot of credit in the second half. They have done what they needed to do to get Brody and Helton and Bennett Matthews to the line of scrimmage with a gap and a seam that they could run through. And both of them are just lethal once they get through the hole. But that offensive line is fired off the ball very, very well. Very few penalties, highly disciplined. Bedford looks really strong.
We're going to grind down the final 5+ minutes here. And if Bedford does hang on, they improve to 8-0. They stretch that multi-year win streak to 24 in a row. And we'll take the show on the road to close out the regular season at Keene next Friday night at 6:30. South, meanwhile, they get to return home where they will host Goffstown Friday night. Also a 6:30 kick. All right, so after the safety, of course, for those unfamiliar, we see a punt from the 20-yard line. That's a moonraker. Matthews underneath it at the 35, turns on the gas at midfield, still alive down the sideline, but there's a flag. He's finally going to be group tackled at about the 35, and again, emotions running high here as Matthews having words with Fish after the tackle. And now a third flag is thrown. Well, this perhaps a dangerous, so to speak, point in the game with the decision seemingly now in stone. This is the time where sometimes emotions can get the better of players and we see chippy play after the whistle, extracurriculars, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of emotions down there on the field, and it seemed like the emotions got the better of some of the players there.
Is he picking up the flag?
Coach Matthews speaking with the officials. Some of the fans are chirping in with their opinions. Referee Joe Serra, who has been busy in the second half especially, is trying to sort everything together here, sort everything out.
Yeah, I mean, let's...
Got a block in the back against
Bedford.
All right.
I saw clearly there's an unsportsmanlike conduct and a block in the back. So we'll see.
Both against Bedford.
We'll see how they measure this off. Looks like it's going to be 15 yard.
Yeah, the unsportsmanlike may have been against Matthews.
Yeah.
As he had a word for Fish at the tail end of the play. Of course, Matthews felt like he was getting hit after the whistle.
Yeah, he went down with a little extra oomph there at the end. You're going to see it.
See there, collides with Goncalves and Fish. So
emotions running.
Yep. 15 against Bedford there. That's their third penalty of the night.
I don't know what the big long conversation with Coach Matthews was. I guess it was against them. So usually
just an explanation.
You would mess up in just explanation.
A courtesy, I suppose.
Yeah, which they've done well this year. All the officials.
Just over 5 minutes remaining. Bedford, after the penalty, going to take over at their own 30 with a 1st and 10. Helton and Westcott are the backs. They hand to Helton. No, that is Westcott. Breaks a tackle. He crawls over the 35 and is at the 37 when it's all said and done, a gain of 7.
I'm actually a little surprised that when you look at some quality players that Bedford has and their number 2's Nick coming in, I'm really surprised that Brody Helton's in the game. He did get a little banged up there in the end zone. He's got a lot of work. Early in the game, took some big hits, but delivered more. But I'm really surprised he's in the game at this point. And you could even throw in Coach Bennett Matthews. Surprised Coach has him in there.
Matthews scored the touchdown on the previous drive. He's in the slot here near side. Meanwhile, Helton hit at the line of scrimmage and dropped by Ndebisi. That was Brody's 30th carry tonight, Steve. Just another day at the office for the junior.
30 in high school football game. 12-minute quarters.
Yep.
And
that's a workload.
That's a workload. Yep.
Coming up on 4 minutes, 3rd and 3. The football just shy of the 37.
With a spread game, kind of 7-on-7 with 5 big guys allowed to play in the NFL, and with a lot of teams. You're lucky if it takes 3 games to get that amount of carries now.
Right, a lot of committees in the NFL nowadays.
But in high school, we still have
a true workhorse.
A true workhorse in Brody Helton and so many other good running backs throughout our league.
3rd and 3, why not another? 31 carries tonight.
Yeah.
And the 31st produces a first down for Bedford. He's up to the 44 after a gain of 7.
Unnecessary need to put a workhorse at risk here.
I think, Steve, we may have another penalty.
Yeah.
Bedford backing up here.
I don't see the gain equal to the potential risk. You've got
the holding against Bedford.
It's the body begins to break down in later parts of the game, so maybe maybe Brody won't come out.
That's possible.
Tough kid.
I think Coach Matthews just wants to close the door here.
Close the door.
And the best way to close the door is with a big hammer.
38-14, Nick, with 3 minutes left. I don't know. And you know, it isn't like you don't have a legitimate disciplined running back to put in the game.
Oh, I'm sure.
Anyway, enough about that.
They've got a stable of backs.
He's just an extremely valuable player, and
he's been fun to watch tonight. 3
sure
touchdowns, 2 in the first quarter, and then 1 to really seal the deal in this fourth quarter. He's going to cautiously approach the right side on a 3rd and long.
I would use that. I think you're right on cautiously, Nick.
Yeah. Just looking to protect the ball. He's lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. The clock starts again inside of 3 minutes now remaining. Goncalves credited with another tackle. He's had a big night tonight, including an interception.
Looks to me like the backup linemen are going in. That's great for these guys to get some varsity experience, and it looks like Brody Helton's coming off the field.
They're going to punt for just I think the first time tonight.
Yeah, absolutely no need leaving these guys in for the punt. So punt team's on, and
this is the junior Elijah Todd, who is standing at his own 12-yard line. 2 men back deep for the Purple Panthers.
Ooh, that was tipped.
It's a wobbler. Lands near midfield. It's up in the air.
I think that was tipped, Nick.
And they're going to down it. Bulldogs down it at the south 45-yard line. 2:09 to go. Coming up after the game, stats, highlights, analysis, Week 8 scoreboard to get to. A couple of close games we're keeping an eye on. And a preview of tomorrow's Game of the Week battle between Winnicott and Memorial. That's all coming up after the game. Bedford led 14-0 after the first quarter. South came back to tie it midway through the third. And after that, the bottom kind of fell out as the Bulldogs have scored 26 unanswered points since the midway point of the third quarter. And with 2:09 remaining, momentarily set to improve to 8-0 on the season. Of course, Exeter was the only other unbeaten Division I team coming into tonight. Besides these two teams, obviously. We'll see after the game how the Blue Hawks did. They were up in Maine tonight taking on Portland in their lone out-of-state game.
Well, I watched the Memorial Exeter game, and that was enjoyable to watch as well.
Yeah.
Memorial really brought it close, but Exeter was in command most of the game, and then Memorial, unsurprisingly, just played their hearts out.
Jackson fakes the handoff, and on 2nd and 10, he's looking for the corner. Spins his way to midfield, still alive in Bulldog territory before he's tripped up inbounds at about the 47-yard line. An impressive 8-yard run tonight. Cody's been pretty good tonight, Steve.
Yeah,
all things considered. Running this up-tempo offense. He's kept his team competitive, and he's really done everything asked tonight by Coach Knight.
Yeah, he's moved in the pocket, Nick, just extremely good. Rolls out very well. The only thing that I would say is when you see containment, run north-south. And that would be the only thing that I would say. But this guy's the real deal. He's got a lot of great gifts, and he's got terrific speed and good running ability as a quarterback amongst what you just saw right there.
Here's a screen. This is Kuchenik, his first catch tonight, and he's tackled in the backfield. Flags are going to fly as Tamulovic may have gotten a piece of the mask.
Yeah, he did.
Meanwhile, Sheff is running to the Bedford sideline asking to be replaced here. He may have an equipment issue as well.
That could be.
He's Bedford's biggest player, and he's going to have a quick word with Coach Matthews. Meanwhile, the penalty is against Bedford. I missed the signal, Steve. I apologize.
Wow, looks to me like it's going to be a face mask.
It's a mask. Yeah, it's 15 here.
Yep.
Well, you don't like the 15-yarders, but I think you could probably live with that one as opposed to those after the whistle.
No, it's before and after the whistle. It's that. Right. No, face masks happen out of aggression in a play. You're making a tackle. Your body is designed to bring the man down, and you grab what you got. And it happens from time to time. You try to avoid it, but if that's what you've got a hold of, you're going to finish the tackle, and that's what happens. But Levine, it's the other stuff.
With a 4-yard carry, that brings us to 1 minute remaining. Levine, another And this time he's ridden down from behind by Sheff, who's right back in the game. Sheff's been active tonight.
He sure has.
The junior, Connor Flaherty, another big body for Bedford. He's been active tonight. Of course, Matt Ben, we talked about him. He's over the nose here. Part of that cohesive unit for Bedford up front. Levine, a good spin move to avoid the loss. He's going to go downhill before he's met by Westcott at the 15-yard line. Clock is going to momentarily stop with 29 seconds as they move the chains. So Levine with a 9-yard carry. And South hoping for some points here in the final 15 seconds. They go right side to Colvin Levesque. He's going to get 4, and that may have been the final play. They're going to spot the ball, but the clock is going to run out on Nashua South. Bedford, they throw up the confetti, and they celebrate in the stands here to our left as their team is 8-0. Final score 38-14. Bedford has won 24 in a row. They hand Nashua South their first loss of the season. Coming up, full recap, stats, highlights, analysis, out-of-town scoreboard, and more. You are watching our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.
Our broadcast today, as it always is brought to you by Beals Insurance Agency, with locations now in both Bedford and Londonderry. Whether you need home, auto, or business insurance, Beals Insurance will get you both the price and quality coverage that's right for you. Just call 603-471-9999 or visit BealsInsurance.com to request a free quote and start saving money today. Again, that's BealsInsurance.com. The New Hampshire Tomahawks promote the highest level of club lacrosse competition, not just in the state, but in the country. Looking to get recruited? Director Chris Cameron keeps an open dialogue with the nation's top college lacrosse coaches. Over 400 New Hampshire Tomahawks alumni have played at the college level, including the ACC, Big East, Big Ten, Ivy, NESCAC, NE10, and more. New Hampshire Tomahawks coaching staff has over 100 coaches, including current high school, varsity, and college coaches. The Tomahawks offer training for players of all ages, clinics, camps, and leagues, along with spring, summer, and fall elite teams. So play with the best. The New Hampshire Tomahawks, showcase and development for college lacrosse. Visit NewHampshireTomahawks.com and girls.nhtomahawks.com.
How can you reach your team's fundraising goals at no risk and no cost? MG Sports offers a variety of products to make your team's fundraiser a success. Their products include discount tickets, cards, and calendar raffles to hundreds of local merchants throughout the New England area. Don't waste another season. Raise more funds than ever before and become another football program in New Hampshire that sets fundraising records every season. MG Sports, fundraising made easy. Visit mgsportsfundraising.com to start raising money for your team today.
Colonial Printing is family owned and celebrating 50 years of quality print services for New Hampshire businesses and can help yours as well. Whether it's creative design, digital or offset printing, or banners and signs, with state-of-the-art technology, unlimited industry sources, and the ability to think outside the box, Colonial Printing will help you get your job done. To see their full list of services, promo products, and portfolio, or to request an estimate, visit colonialprintingnh.com. That's colonialprintingnh.com.
Well, a hard-fought game for Nashua South, but in the end they suffer their first defeat of this 2024 season. Longtime head coach Scott Knight somewhere in the middle of that huddle addressing his squad. They came close tonight to ending Bedford's long 23-game win streak. Bedford jumped out to a 14-0 lead. 2 early touchdowns from Brody Helton. South, their defense rose to the occasion in that second quarter. Came away with 3 takeaways, 2 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. That left the door open for Sam Levine, who finished tonight with 62 yards on 13 carries. His longest was a touchdown run of 27 yards. It was 14-6, Bedford in front at halftime. South, midway through that third quarter, gave a few fans who made the trip north from Nashua something to cheer about. A 58-yard touchdown run by Kyle Emmons, who was the main target of quarterback Cody Jackson in that first half. He had 6 catches for 40 yards. Then the 58-yard touchdown run followed by a Jackson 2-point conversion tied the game at 14. However, Bedford responded on the next drive. Out of a timeout, Jack May, a little 6-yard toss to Dustin Westcott, made it 21-14, and that was our score going into the fourth quarter. Bedford with a stop, and then Helton with his third touchdown. Comes from 14 yards out. 2-point try made it 29-14 with just over 9 minutes to play. Bedford comes away with their second takeaway. Bennett Matthews with an interception, and then Matthews appropriately gets his number called near the goal line, a 2-yard score for the junior. He finished tonight with 5 carries for 40 yards. The 2-yard score made it 36-14, and then a faulty snap on a punt attempt by South led to a Bedford safety, and that is where we end up. Final score 38-24. Bulldogs will look to go undefeated in the regular season again next week when they close out the season on the road at Keene. South will look to get back on their feet against Goffstown at home on November the 1st. That is next week. So, again, the final, 38-14 Bedford.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to break down this game, Nick. Bedford, well, let's start by saying I think Coach Matthews, and defensive coordinator Donahue did a masterful job tonight. To me, it was just a half that reminded me of the West Pelham game we saw, where they were able to kind of really, South was really able to kind of play with them, and they showed a lot. And then all of a sudden, the beginning of the third quarter, to me, the change in the game was when Coach Matthews' team was kind of sputtering. They were missing plays. They were getting kind of lax, and he brings the guys off the field. They go in and they play a dynamic game the rest of the game. To me, that was a great timeout call, and whatever he said, whatever he put in the Kool-Aid really worked. So where are we right now? We're in a situation right now where you've got Bedford, who's beaten everybody. The only team that's given them, in my opinion, a thorough fight is a 4-quarter fight is Pinkerton so far. And that was with Pinkerton without their 2 best players on offense and defense. These teams, to me, are the 2 leaders right now. Where is South in that mix? South shows that for a period of time tonight, for about a half, they could have a half of football. They started out really slow, got in a 14-0 deficit, and they ended up tying up the game and played really well for about 2 solid quarters, kind of like the Pelham West thing. But at the end of the day, Bedford distanced themselves here clearly when they got on cue, and they really wore down South. And that's the thing that South's got to be able to play 4 quarters with these guys. Give South a lot of credit. I think South, it all depends what they want to do in closing, Nick, with the rest of this season. What they got to go back, they got to look at that film and say, what happened to us? Break it down. It's pretty obvious what happened in stages throughout the game. Composure's got to be a key part. You can't make these sort of mistakes. Got to be more disciplined. And some drop passes at key times hurt them. But if you're going to beat Bedford South, you're going to have to play 4 quarters the way you played in the second quarter in the first 4 or 5 minutes of the third quarter.
Yeah. Some unofficial final numbers from this one. Brody Helton, 32 carries, 178 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. He did lose a fumble back in the second quarter. And Cody Jackson looked good tonight as well. 6 completions.
He did.
Threw a couple of picks, but
Emmons looked great too.
Overall, kept his team competitive.
Levine.
Reminder, tomorrow we're back at it in Manchester as Manchester Memorial plays host to Winnicott. That's a big D1 matchup beginning at 1 o'clock. Our broadcast coverage begins at 12:45. Some other finals. Exeter, they jumped out to a big lead against an out-of-state opponent tonight. They're up in Portland, Maine, where they beat Portland High. 35-25 is the final. So Exeter and Bedford are your 2 unbeaten Division I teams through 8 weeks. Londonderry hangs on. They top Wyndham 21-6. It was a low-scoring affair in the first half. The Lancers awaken in the second half and get another win. They will face Exeter, as you mentioned, Steve, next week in week number 9. Pinkerton all over Concord. 8 minutes to go in regulation, and this one all but over. Astros with a 38-7 advantage. Congratulations to Spalding. They got a win tonight.
Good for them.
22-14 over Dover out
right?
east.
Yep. It was Dover, yeah.
Division II, Pelham beats Sauhegan 30-26. Coach Huff has got the Pythons back on a new win streak after they lost.
Coach Huff doesn't lose 2 games hardly. I don't recall if that ever happened. I remember.
And a little unknown territory for Salhegan, a rare second loss.
Yeah.
Of course, they lost in overtime when we were there last week against
Where was
Plymouth.
that? Was that at Pelham or
in Amherst?
In Amherst.
So
wow.
Congratulations to Pelham, and I'm sure we'll see Salhegan rebound, of course, sooner
Good
rather than later.
Teams.
St. Thomas a 1-point win tonight in D2 as well, 7-6 over Kingswood. Steve, your final thoughts here from Bedford.
Well, we're looking for benchmarks. We're looking for where teams sit right now. I would I congratulate South as they go in. I think they got a good chance of coming out with a 8-1 record at the end of the year. But when they face the top iron of the league tonight, it's a 38-14 game. The question is what they do from here till playoffs, Nick, to improve and recognize they saw tonight what they haven't seen all year. Are they going to get better from that, or are they going to stay the same or worse? I think they're going to get better because they have some really solid athletes. I know some of those calls, you never like to see those 15-yard personal fouls, Nick. They got to clean those up, but it does show that they got a lot of passion, a lot of heart. Got to control it, though. That's where I see it. Right now, I see Bedford and I see Pinkerton, and I'm going to throw Exeter in there, obviously, as well, because they have played solid football teams, really solid football teams, but they haven't played Pinkerton, and they haven't played Bedford either. We're going to see them play Londonderry next week, which is going to be a really good, because Londonderry is a very good football team, and we're going to see a battle of the Titans right there. Hopefully, I'm hoping that you and Ben will want to go there as well.
Before we get too far ahead of our skis here, as my friend likes to say, final reminder, we're at it tomorrow.
Yes, we are.
Afternoon in the Queen City, Manchester Memorial against Winnicott, 1 o'clock kick, 12:45 pregame. Want to thank Corey Parker and his staff here at Bedford High School. My old friend, the athletic director, never lets us down.
No, he doesn't.
We like coming here. We appreciate Corey and his group. Of course, our old friend, Bill Jennings, still putting in work over here to our right, over at BCTV. Good to see him, and we like sharing space with our friends both on the Bedford TV and radio sides. Of course, for our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire crew, that includes the hard-working, triumphant of the 3 camera operators. No John Barron tonight. We miss John. We'll see him next week, but certainly
he set us up good, though.
We had some folks pick up the slack as well, including Kat Doyle, who was here bright and early, and the 2 Beals outside of Steve. That's Matt and Kristen to our right, doing a great job behind the lens
tonight. Outstanding.
As usual. For my partner, executive producer Steve Beals, my name is Nick Anastas saying so long. Final score, final time, Bedford 38, Nashua South 14. This has been a presentation of our Friday Night Lights New Hampshire Game of the Week, presented by Beals Insurance.